Welcome to yet another episode of Around the Mage Table. This is episode 83 of the podcast for the rest of us. I am joined by... Oh, man, my stuff doesn't work today.
Did you
There it is.
forget our
Okay.
names?
No, the names were popping up and then they just popped up out of nowhere. Thanks.
Okay.
But they're here
You're
now,
welcome.
so it's great. Scrapclaw, how you doing?
Doing good, chilling.
Lithian,
Who
how
am
you
I?
doing?
I am trying to figure out who I am.
Well, you know what? That's okay. I want to just take a quick moment to talk about Ayaski, who is, quote unquote, is taking a break from retail.
I was
We said he's
soft
soft
launching
launching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Okay.
now it's a hard launch.
Yeah.
Should we hard launch it? Yeah.
So, what's going on? This is newsworthy, right? I got to bring it up. Tell us what's going on in your head.
Bring up the interrogation thing again.
Oh yeah, here,
No, I'm
hold on.
kidding.
There we
Oh,
go.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're
Oh,
going
God.
back in. Boom. There,
Oh, no, I
back.
just,
Yes. What's going on?
Oh god, these lights. No, I just haven't felt. I don't know. I just haven't really felt like been playing. Haven't really felt super compelled to log in. Like you guys have been doing
Right.
keys and stuff, and I've just been doing other stuff. I don't know.
But
What
you've
do
been
you
hitting
ask?
classic pretty hard.
Is it doing keys with us that you hate?
No.
Is that what it is?
No.
Is
It
me?
is.
No,
No,
not you guys. No. No, actually, I was thinking about this the other day because someone in another Discord said something similar. I can't quite put my finger on it, but just like I don't know, just when I'm thinking about what I want to do, and I'm like, I should probably log into retail. Like I logged in for my vault this week, which I did no keys last week, and I got the Valgor stare on my paladin. I was like, oh sweet, a good trinket, sweet, and then just like wasn't feeling good, so I didn't raid, and then just the rest of the week just never hopped in or did anything. So,
But I
but
think
yeah,
You
Oh,
told
wait,
us you were
keep
going to
going.
be late for raid and just didn't show.
I never
Yeah.
showed
Oh,
up the
yeah,
whole
it's
week.
fine.
yeah, Thursday was that was my bad. We got home pretty late from D&D, so I'm sorry about that.
But I think
Yeah.
that it's probably also because you've been raiding in classic, and that's like a full-time job, and then retail's also like a full-time job. I mean, you can't play 2 WoWs
It's
at the
not
same
like
time.
a
Burning
full-time
Crusade's not the
job,
same
but
way.
it's
No.
not quite the same. But like, because I used to be able to play retail and kind of do other stuff too, because you don't once you get to past the first couple weeks of a season or the expansion, it's real easy to just get into that loop where you're just doing the things you need to do and then just like logging off and playing another game or doing
Especially
something
if
else.
you're not doing
Just for
buffs.
And like I was thinking like, and maybe classic might have something to do with it, but like I leveled my shaman and through dungeons last week, and I thought for sure that by the end of that I was going to be a little like want to take a break from that, but I actually was still having fun doing it. So I don't know, it could just be because I'm enjoying that right now, but yeah, just something isn't really drawing me into playing. But I was thinking about hopping on maybe for some keys next week at least, just to kind of feel some things out, and because I know I think Holy
I'm telling
Paladin
ya.
got more
I was going to
buffs
say, how many
recently,
buffs
too.
do they have to throw at you to make you want to play?
Hopefully they fix how many more buffs they have to throw at us to make people want to play us is the real question, I guess.
I think you just like your classic friends more than your retail friends.
I wonder why, Lithian.
I look,
I know,
I get it.
I know.
All jokes aside for
I know,
me,
I
but
get it.
Lithian's really hurt.
He's so
am.
hurt. He
Really?
misses you.
I ask all the time. I'm like, hey, is IO coming? I try to save you a spot, and then Scrap's
It's-
like, no, fill it.
And then
You don't need them.
And then you replace me with like Phoenix and other people.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, your spot is like the retainer, right? It's like
Yeah.
sorry, the
defense
reserves.
It's
Yeah,
the reserves. Yeah.
the reserve spot.
Yeah, or the army
so-
reserve.
I would
yeah.
love
Yep.
I would love to not have a reserve spot and just have a consistent person.
It is true because like with the interrupts, even when we were doing a key just a second ago, no one was like calling their interrupts, and it's just nice to know like when you know.
No
exactly.
one. I was.
No, you weren't. You literally went into a pool and you said, "I have this," and then the next pool was the exact same type
No.
of mob you did it, and you just didn't talk anymore. You're like, no, not anymore.
the best is when they say I have the one on the left.
Yes.
Right. And
I
I'm
marked
like,
it.
which one is the one on the left?
Yeah, that did throw me a little bit there.
All right. Well, we have some tuning coming tomorrow. We have 12.0.7, which was announced officially. And we thought we'd take a little look at what's going on with Mythic Plus and the new cutoffs that were implemented last week, as well as there are some questions about what's going on with loot. We've kind of touched on the fact that loot has been moving really quickly for a lot of people, but now even more so with these void cores and the new ritual sites. So I wanted to talk about loot for a second. You guys ready to jump in?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
Said it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's first talk about the tuning. I'm not going to dive into too much of this other than it does seem like Unholy, like the meta is getting nerfed. So Unholy, Devourer, think Resto, yeah, had some healing reduced.
Good.
Og looks to be overall like a 3%, I think it was change.
The nerfs are so small.
Yeah. They are light touched, right? And I even was willing to okay, in our Discord today, people were talking about how Unholy is like dead and, you know, dooming like most people do when their classes get nerfed.
Are the people who are arguing about that the people playing Unholy who are Fodom
Yes.
chasers?
Well, I don't
Okay.
want to call them Fodom chasers because they like some of them
Yeah.
have had their, like, for example, DK for a while. But
Yeah.
you know, like they started the conversation by saying they were, you know, like Unholy's 8% behind all their classes. And then all I did was pull up
Brother,
Mythic
what?
stats, and it was like they were the only S tier, right?
Yeah.
And you know, there was conversations about, well, it's really hurting their AoE. Well, yeah, I mean that's where a lot of your damage comes in Mythic Plus, but I don't think it'll
Look.
really impact their raid performance too much. Which, by the way, they're still
If-
top 10 anyways. So
Yeah, if 8 out of the 10 top run keys have your class in it and you get nerfed, you should be like, all right. Like,
Well,
like
and-
I feel like shouldn't be unexpected.
well, and the truth is like when it comes to DPS, there is some flexibility, and of course, meta is meta, right? People will just like play because it's meta. But there's some flexibility that allows other DPS to get in over Unholy, right? Like you can, you know, the Fizz comp is still relevant, right?
Yeah, there is a Fizz comp in the top 10.
Yeah. So like it's still possible when it comes to DPS, but where it really is apparent is like the tanks, not so much the healers, but mostly the tanks. We'll talk about some. Actually, let's just jump straight into the tank tuning. So Guardian seems to have their like DPS somewhat nerfed, but a lot of their M plus damage seems to be going up. Lithium, you know more about this than I do.
I think it's gonna be a better, like, Thrash is kind of a, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it
it's gonna
gives
help
them
with threat.
a lot more sustain. Yeah, threat and sustain, and that's what they need. I don't know. Most people probably have switched off to Elune anyway, so I don't know.
Is it not? You don't use Thrash when you have Elunes?
No. You use Thrash. You don't
Oh.
use the stuff that got nerfed. You don't use.
Okay. Well, you are playing Brew, and it does seem like they're trying to maybe, I think this is around your survivability, right? Like you're gonna have a little more of a cooldown on purifying Brew.
Yeah, I'll have less purifying brews in a key, but not by a lot, like a small percentage. So
And a little less.
I don't think it's gonna be. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a big deal. Like it doesn't seem like a big deal.
You guys have heard it every week. Protection Paladin is broken.
Dude, that's a big buff. That's a huge buff.
Don't start with him.
I got tripped up on the idea of what base armor is, right? Because like for me, base armor is what your armor is without your gear. So I was immediately like, this is not, I took off all my gear. I was like, oh, it's 0. So it's not base. That's not base armor, right? I assume then it's like overall armor.
Is it base armor on like all the gear, like the value?
I guess.
It's unmodified. So it's basically you with your gear on without any modifiers. Like
so like
what's the,
non-talent boosts.
Yeah, like what's the aura that you use all the time? Devotion aura,
Devotion?
whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a modifier.
Sure, but that's a modifier for just damage. Like it's not an armor modifier.
Oh, whichever one's the armor.
Yeah.
I thought there
there's
was
some. I'm sure there's some talents that like, you know, increase armor by 10. So you're saying it's not, you know, whatever the armor is without that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well, I
so
logged it to see what my armor will be when the patch hits.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting a lot. You know, I think Zorthus did a video about saying like 4%, but
I mean, it's
Fizz-
white. It's all the
Fizz-
white hits, right?
yeah, I mean, well, and some you know, yellow hits will be physical based, but it just doesn't seem to be addressing the problem that we have. You know, again, Bellerin one shots me, and I'll be doing. So I'm raid leading Lura, right, and I'm trying to juggle the memory game. I'm trying to juggle raid calling, and then on top of that, we have a taunt swap that if I don't put a defensive up for, it could very easily kill me. And so, and again, it's RNG based because like sometimes I die, sometimes I'm not even close to dying, right?
Yeah.
So this doesn't seem to be helping the problem, but we'll see. I'll maybe try key. And then what else was it? Like Warrior got some DPS increase, it sounds like. I'm not sure if they necessarily were falling behind, but
I haven't seen a lot of warriors out and about, but that's pretty typical. They don't bring a lot of utility, so to a key.
well,
they can rally.
well, no, now they can. Didn't they get something with their spear where they could like pull everything in now? I mean, that was.
I've
like,
never seen it.
Well, that's because they're not doing it. I don't know.
That's because
Well,
they're not doing it.
So yeah, again, like tanks got some love, but I still think that's a huge disparity between what Brew's going through and everyone else is. There you go, Io. You got some more holy buffs.
Cool.
I don't. Look. This is like the third week in a row where they just flat out 15% buff these things, the spenders.
Yep.
I don't know. Like this doesn't seem like it's really calling to me that yes, it's obviously going to help, but like it doesn't make the
Yeah.
gameplay any more fun, and it's not going to make anything like where's the Empyrean hammer thing or whatever.
Yeah, I think we're just in a weird spot where our profile isn't really ideal for Mythic Plus healing, and we're still. I don't know about the raid. I haven't seen anything about the Mythic raid in a while because I know we were not even being taken before because like
yeah.
Prez and them were so much better. But at least in Mythic Plus, I think, especially now that they nerfed Druid a little bit, but now they're also doing some changes to disc. I just think there's just healers people just want to play more that are able to do more healing than and it's a little bit easier too because I feel like Holy Paladin's one of those ones where like you kind of gotta always be a bit engaged with what you're doing. Resto, you just kind of like you set up and your hots do a lot of healing, or disc and disc you get it into like you get your atonements out if you start getting I don't know if they're like the shield disc now or whatever, but I mean it's
I was looking into that.
It's a
Apparently,
different
like disc
style.
plays very different from when I remember it. I was watching like a YouTube short about Automatic Jack explaining it, but it sounds he said like I can't remember the name of it, but like one of the spells was effectively like a lay on hands every time you cast it. And all you had to do was just kind of keep atonement up with I don't know, but like it definitely seems different, and they're getting a little bit of a sounds like an M+ buff, maybe a raid nerf, but so they're getting some love.
Yeah. You always sometimes on Twitter, just in other things, I'll see people talk about how like, oh man, I did like a 10 or like a 12 on my 225 monk, and it was just so much easier compared to the healer I know, like a holy priest or something. I just think there's some healers that just fit the Mythic Plus and the damage a little bit easier than others, and I think Holy Paladin's one that's a bit more I think it just takes a bit more thought to play, so just not as much people, and I don't mean that as like, oh, it's a smart person, but I just mean moment to moment gameplay. You have to be a bit more intentional with what you're doing, so I just don't think a lot of people are drawn to that right now. Unless they just they 50% buff everything like every week until it's just undeniable, like you have to play it because the numbers are just too high. But
yeah,
I want to try Mistweaver. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, Mistweaver's
fun.
Yeah,
Frank's looking for someone to switch with, so
I'm not. No, I'm not. So
Okay.
all right, so we see again the meta other than like Warlock. Demonology doesn't seem to have anything affecting it right now, but like Affliction got a huge buff. But it does seem like they're going after the meta. Do you guys feel like the meta will change?
No.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I feel like I can still see Og up there just because of all the utility that they bring. Handling those packs with all the stuns is going to be necessary at the really high keys. I'm assuming we're talking about meta at the highest level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's all really is. I mean, meta's
yeah.
Meta is apparent throughout, but it doesn't affect anything until you get to the highest of keys.
I wouldn't be surprised if other DPS switch out. Somebody, I don't remember who, so I don't know the validity of this, said that Resto Shaman is on the come up with these Druid nerfs.
Resto Shaman was doing well enough that no, Resto Shaman
okay,
is doing
I was like,
well
I
enough.
don't know who said it. Someone said it.
They're really good with the Fizz comp, I think, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see them more on the on Raider IO. They're popping up a little bit.
I love to see Fizz comp up there. I don't know. I feel like the Devour nerf isn't that huge. Like it's a tweak, right? But I don't see it shaking the meta much. Like they just with huge pulls, they do so much damage, right? So
I was hoping that they would pull other specs up. Like pull people up.
I think that's what will happen. Like by pulling them down, it will bring others up.
They buff Frost. They buff
No. What I mean is, instead of pushing them down, pull like the tanks, right? Make the other tanks as tanky as Brewmaster is right now. Instead of saying, "Oh, we're going to give a little tiny buff over here, a little tiny nerf over here," like it. Just figure out how to bring the tanks more in line.
Everybody, yeah, it does suck to get nerfed and it's awesome to get buffed. So that would be a people pleaser. But I'm guessing they figured out this is the most efficient way to balance it. And I have no reason, you know me, I'm an asshole, I'm distrustful. I trust their tuning, especially mid-season tuning. They tend to bring things close in more recent modern seasons, right?
They're not doing any tuning.
What
What are you
about?
talking
We're
about?
literally
What is
looking
bro
at tuning paths
talking
right
about?
now.
We're talking. The topic is tuning.
The tuning is not gonna change anything. Like there isn't enough of a change here to
In
actually change
in
anything.
fairness, though, Lithium, when does the tuning ever really make that, like, other than week 1, make that kind of a difference?
But I think that's the challenge for them is they're making these small changes because they're trying to figure out how to mix the meta a little bit. I feel like, or at least
No,
balance
no,
classes out.
I think they do the opposite.
Well, yeah,
They don't want to
okay.
mess with the meta because people will be upset. Like, oh, I did all this work to level it. Now you're gonna make Paladin. Like,
Well, those
Well,
people should be
no,
upset.
that's
Fuck
not what I
those
no,
mean.
people.
no, no,
I
no, 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 no,
I
no, no, no.
Yeah, no.
no, I'm not saying throw a bunch of huge nerfs at Brewmaster.
No,
I'm
no.
saying bolster the other tanks to bring
Sure.
them more in line.
But there's 2 problems,
Like,
right?
Yeah, people would love that. That would be a
So,
win-win-win-win. I'm sure
could
it's
we
hard
that's what I'm
though.
saying.
not,
No, it
in
wouldn't.
theory, get to a situation where, like, even if you buffed everything else to Brewmaster's level, Brewmaster is still just the tank always taken because it's still the best?
Yes, because
Well,
of stagger and that they can dodge attacks.
Yeah.
yeah, but
The
I
reason
think
why
there's
Lithian is surviving Beleren is because he's dodging like 90% of the shit, and I'm not. Like, yes, there's one in a 10% of chance where he goes, oh shit, that hurt. But his stagger is also slowing it down from hurting him, so it's not a huge deal,
I just
right?
I just
Seems like
expel
asleep.
I expel that
Yeah,
harm
he
and
immediately
I'm
just
back to
drinks it away, right? And so don't get me wrong, like that's the strength that Brewmaster's
No,
had. It's just that they haven't had all the other things kind of come together for him.
and I don't know what the right
But the
answer is. I
but
just think
But nerfing Brewmaster or buffing Pot Paladin as an example, past Brewmaster is the same problem, right? The
well,
people
yeah,
will
that's
still
a
be
different
upset.
problem. Yeah.
So
I
when
feel
they
like
do this, sorry,
yeah.
go on, Scrap.
I was gonna say the point of the tuning, I'm sure, is to make others viable, right? Like so
Yes.
that like you could
Is
play
that going to
any
make Prop
classes to
Paladin
make up
viable?
they can't control the meta. They can't control what people
No,
play
no,
and
no,
stuff,
no.
but
But
they
Scrap,
can.
this is not a meta
Yeah.
question. Prop Paladin is
Well,
so
No.
far removed from meta.
I know. I wasn't thinking about Prop Paladin specifically, but I'm thinking about like the DPS changing and stuff. Is like, yeah, Prop Paladin has some fundamental issues. They might be just writing it off and saying next season the 4 set will fix it at this
This
point.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
Next season, that's just
it
the entire season's a
definitely
wash.
Dude, they do that shit all the
so
time.
so
it
here's
gives me the
sorry, go ahead.
vibes of at the it gives me the vibes that they're at this point they're like, we don't know what to do for it this time. Either in a future patch we're gonna have like a mini rework of some of the talents, or yeah, like Scrap said, there might be a 4-piece that might give them what they need to be taken, or at least be a little stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so okay, so of the 3 here, or sorry, of the 4, 3 were nerfed. Okay, so Demo's still getting away with murder, but it's also the lowest max out of the 4. You bring these 3
Yeah.
down a little bit. Again, it was very light touched. There are a couple, I think like Arms got a little bit of a buff and Affliction got a little bit of a buff, right?
Here you got buffed.
But like these
Marksman
are
got a buff
all
also.
these are
'cause
all
it got
considered
fucked.
yeah, these are all considered F just because of how far ahead this one is, right?
Yeah.
And once this one's tapered back down, like why go out and buff what is this 15 specs when if you just do a little tuning up here, everything hopefully will
No,
work
I
I-
get
better.
I
it.
think
It's
they're doing on this.
easier. It's easier for them to make minimal changes to the top end to bring them more in line. But
Mhm.
when I look at the average at the bottom and I look at the average at the top, it's significant.
One thing I'm interested to see is something like Unholy DK and Devour Demon Hunter. Like they have these big uncapped damage. So you do these big pulls, you have these big uncapped damage, and
Yeah.
Unholy DK and Devour also both have really good trinkets from the raid that are on use, give you a bunch of stat. I wonder if you looked at some of these seasons where some of these specs are far and ahead above other ones. I wonder if there's something that if there's just items that just synergize really well with them too. I was just thinking about
Well,
that.
I think they also work well with AUG, like to have those big bursts that are uncapped with their trinkets
Yeah.
and everything. Like it's
Yeah.
like that's why you're seeing those 3 together because they make ultra massive pulls that get augmented and do insane fucking damage. That's why if you go into a key and you have a Devour DH who's like straddling the tank, it's like, it's not being pulled like MDI. They might be getting fucked or they just don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
It's not like, oh yeah, they just do 1 trillion damage. It's like they're pulling around the cooldowns of the Unholy and the DH and the
Yeah.
AUG.
So this might be why Demo didn't get touched is because they're not being I mean,
in
they're
the top
again,
end.
yeah, like they're 18% but like compared to, well, hold on, this doesn't make sense.
August.
Oh, 18% of the
August.
3 spots. Yeah, okay.
I just
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
Devour Demon Hunter is so powerful with those big pulls, like that you need to
Yeah,
time those
yeah.
huge keys. Like, why take a demo over them?
Sure.
But in those like mid range keys where you're gonna pug and you don't know the routes and stuff, a demo is like a safer choice to pug in, I think.
Yeah.
Demo can give you some options too with the gate skips and
Gate
everything.
skips, yeah, for sure.
But I mean, like, look here, so Scrap here, like Resto's doing almost as many keys as most Restos, right?
Yeah.
So like they've already been doing pretty well. This might nerf Resto Druids enough to like give Resto Shamans the lead.
Well, we were looking at the chart of like the very top keys that were run, and the top 10 all had a Resto Druid.
Well, that
So it
again,
was
but that
kinda
might be
like,
because 5 of them are the same team doing the top 5 keys.
You got to look at the
yeah.
unique.
No,
Yeah.
they were different teams, weren't they?
No,
Looking
and,
in
and
that
again,
chart
but
too,
like
yeah.
the top 10 isn't, Blizzard shouldn't tune
Yeah,
to
I know
that
it's not good.
anyways,
It's
right?
definitely not good, but that's just what I
But the
was
top
basing on, like
2000, which you can't see on my screen here because it just
Yeah.
cuts off, but like the top
top
2000, which is this
2000.
was showing, is
Boy, look at them.
more
Look at
of a
them
meta scene than like data wise than anything else,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. The tank is fucked. Like
Yeah.
that needs a
Absolutely fucked.
change
That's
immediately. Like
wild. Like, I love Blood Death Knight, but Blood Death Knight isn't even a sliver on that.
I can't get
Little.
it.
Yeah, no,
No.
you can barely.
0.1%.
that's pathetic. Like that needs to change. I remember in War Within there was some issue with like Resto Shaman dominance where it looked like that with Resto Shaman,
Let's
and
see if
it's
I
like
can
if
zoom
you see a
that one.
bar, yeah, if you see a bar like that,
By
that's
the
a
way,
failure on their part, a tuning failure.
by the
That's
way,
not just meta.
sorry, I'm zooming in real quick
I mean,
here.
you can click on it.
Can
Keep
you?
going.
Oh, can you? Oh, there you go.
Oh
If you
my
click
God.
on it, it'll show
Poor
you.
blood decays.
By the way, not
Yeah.
a single prop paladin.
Yeah.
Not a single
Oh, they're
one.
not even
No,
one in
no,
the top
nobody's-
2000 keys.
At least there's one Blood
That's
Death Knight out there
fucking tough.
living their
No,
best life, right?
look, no enhanced shaman either.
Well, oh yeah.
Go over to the melee.
Well, that's because I think an elemental, yeah, elemental's so good that
yeah, but even
that-
Havoc has one guy.
No, I know, but
I
like,
don't
there's
know.
no there's
I
no
just-
fire mage, like there's no affliction warlock, right? Like that's just gonna
Yeah.
happen, you know.
I mean, I know that we don't play at these levels, but it's just the disparity is
Little
what
silly.
happens. What happens when people see
there's
stuff
an
like
answer.
this, though, is they
Yeah,
end up
0.
trying to
No,
play.
this is 0.1.
like-
It means someone's played it. It's
Sorry,
like,
I
yeah.
can't see that.
Like tank players will try to play Brewmaster and have no idea how to do it, but they'll do it anyway because it's meta, you know.
Yeah, in the scene we're in, like between like if we're pugging, let's
It
say
doesn't matter.
alts and not, it's somewhere between the 12 and 15 range. That's what we're playing on our alts and our mains. If you're pugging, you're not gonna see people doing it good. I think they're gonna be copying the meta and just like I don't know. It's take whoever in those keys. Like
Sites like this though are a
seen-
good tool. Like if you're someone
Mhm.
who's at our level and you're thinking maybe I want to start getting into that higher key closer to title push, and you're playing a DPS, and let's say you're playing like marksman, and you go just out of curiosity, how many of these can I expect to see if I continue to play this? See
Yeah.
their 0 and then go, okay, maybe I should switch to something else. I think like
Well-
looking at the data is interesting, but I think it's also one of those things where like this kind of data isn't really like it's interesting to discuss, but it's not necessarily for us per se.
well, it's
yeah,
also
Mage is
skewed.
down bad as fuck, dude.
Well, it's skewed, right? Because this is
Yeah.
like 2,000 keys, but of the 10,000 characters in those 2,000 keys, only 2,300 of them are unique. So it essentially means like each player shows up 5 times on this list.
It's
Yeah.
true.
So there is a 5 times multiplier to all the numbers.
I wonder if Mythic Plus was just strictly, and this would never happen, but just out of curiosity, because I played games like League of Legends that had like a solo queue, I wonder if like you could only ever be an individual and then take other people who aren't like your friend or something, like you queued with random people. I wonder what these numbers would look like if there would still
If
be
you
like a meta
had
that
to?
forms, or yeah, like I wonder if there would still be like a meta that forms, or
Yeah, I'd assume there would be
if
still.
there weren't like push teams or whatever.
Yeah, see, like Protection Paladin is getting played, but I assume it's only at like runs that are like the +10s, you know?
Yeah.
Yoda does some higher prop paladin keys, but I don't know if he's done like above 20s or anything with them.
Yeah,
I
here's
think he has
here's
done
20 and
20s.
above, so there is some 12,
Yeah.
12 samples of the 17.
Well, it just goes to the point that it can be done. Like, I don't know
No,
if that guy was like
okay.
hella supported and shit, but like it can be done.
Sure, but I mean, like
Yeah.
that support in this kind of like key level is kind of required for all things to work really, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh.
to your point, Scrap, I've always advocated that if someone, you know, like we talked about this with AUG last season when you know, quote unquote said they were dead,
I think I was
they
right, though.
could get them done, right? So is it a matter of like, okay, this is the way I look at it. It's a matter of skill, that it takes more skill to be successful on the protection paladin than does the brewmaster. So therefore, everyone's going to take the path of least resistance. But does that mean tuning is that bad that they still can get it done? It just requires more skill. I mean, it definitely feels like it fucking sucks, but
yeah, I'm hoping the tuning that they're doing for next week that's the goal in mind. Like, it might not push these things up to the meta, but it can be viable to play it as far as you want if you just put in a little bit more effort, right?
Just 10% armor away from going all the way.
10%.
Like, I don't think it's gonna make a meta, but like if you're like a ride or die prot pally whose you know friends are all
That's
doing
Frank.
20s, that you can do it, that you can get the job done.
Like it's also a question of like, yeah, I can get the job done, but how painful is it going to be to everyone involved in my group that they're going to want to quit by the time?
If you play off meta, you love pain. You love it.
No, but
you know?
like
I
you
like-
guys aren't playing off meta. I am. Now you're paying the price.
Well,
Oh, I don't. Well, but we're bricking keys not because we're not meta, but because we're making mistakes
Yeah,
and we're
I'm-
bad. So
I'm just
the
bad,
meta is
dude.
not. We're not feeling the pain of being off meta as a group. Like, we're feeling the pain of we don't know how to kick and we stand in stuff. So This doesn't concern me at all. I'm working on like the pre-K level, right? Like, I still don't know what casts I'm supposed to kick half the fucking time. So
Oh my god.
So the meta doesn't concern me.
If you were to have a counter, $1 for every time Scrap said, "Oh, I didn't know that was the mechanic this week," how much money would you have?
I just learned something today. What was it I learned today?
You know, this is
I
very.
don't remember. I forgot what I learned today. Awesome.
Yeah, I'd be rich, but I just it's been, we're pushing 15s. You know,
Yeah, we're getting our
I
resilient
almost have
15.
all my 15s done, and I don't know how many you have left, Scrap, but
2.
I think I have 3. Yeah, you did one without me.
I did. I pugged one.
But it's starting to get to the point where you actually have to know the mechanics, and I've seen Scrap die to so many things just
I
randomly.
died at everything. I learned.
Yeah.
I learned by death. Like, that's how I
Or
learned.
no, it's the risk reward thing that you
Oh, yeah.
lose more than you win.
The
And
I'm
it
not
drives me
used to
crazy.
the caster. Like, you gotta give me a little grace that I've never played a caster literally ever, and I
So-
understand the risk reward dance that you're performing as a caster constantly.
So
And I'm the kind of person who is bad at gambling. I'll go broke every time.
But
So
the thing is,
or go
Mhm.
ahead.
yeah.
like when you're a caster, though, it's not as much risk reward as you think. You just gotta stand in spots that are not risky. Like I don't know what you
Or
do,
break,
but like
you break the cast like immediately. Like, so let's say if you have a 2-second cast, you recognize
Yeah.
within that first half second, I need to abandon this because otherwise it's going to
The
cost me
difference
1.5 seconds.
is that if I don't cast it, I lose it. So
But
it's
my-
like
oh my
it's
god,
not like
back-
well,
every class has that.
what's
What do you
crazy
like?
what's crazy is that
Yeah.
you can cast at least one
recast
of
it.
your abilities. You can cast and move.
Scrap
So-
Scrap would give me
Yeah, but I
so much
have
shit
to.
in Dragonflight when
Yeah, I
you know, because
did.
like in the arcane whatever window, I can't remember the name of it right off my head, but like the window where I have to like 12 seconds to get as much damage done to it so it echoes all that damage.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would sometimes stand in a circle thinking I could get out of it in time and be wrong. And like
Me.
the fucking disrespect she would show, like, oh,
Oh,
you
man.
fucking idiot. And,
Yeah.
like, and like, so I have no empathy for it, Scrap.
It's the car, and I respect your lack of empathy because I'm thinking about that all the time. I'm like, God damn it, why was I such an asshole? This is huge
You're
karma
eating crow.
comeuppance. I'm
So
eating
are-
crow every day, every key.
Are the Devourer changes gonna change any of that? Like, I don't know what
For
they did
me,
to Devourer.
no, it's
Yeah,
it's
it's like
mostly
a
it's an
3%
aura
nerf.
aura nerf and then some like just like small nerfs to individual spells. I think I
So you're
glossed
still not
over
gonna
it.
be
It didn't seem huge.
viable. You're still not gonna be viable then.
I don't think it's gonna
Not
make a
her,
huge
yeah.
difference to me because I'm already not like I'm not playing at the peak of my performance, right? So you're probably not gonna see much of a difference. It's
Do you,
it's like a small nerf, I think.
do you guys really quickly, while we're on the topic of the season, want to look at some
Mm.
season stats and just go over those?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I
Okay.
love, dude. I'm starting to
All
love
right.
these little graphs and stats and
So
stuff.
so this is again the War Within season 3, which was, if I have done my math correctly, the strongest M+ season ever prior to this.
It was the
season.
best dungeon rotation ever.
So,
Double Taz. Oh my god.
Week 5 into week 6, it was about just under 3 million keys completed in that time frame.
Okay.
Now, based on what we heard with the new the new achievement changes, the impression was we would see a uptick in late game, keys being done. So this is this season. We had just over 3 million in week 5, so that is a little bit better. Now again, this is a current week, so we don't know for sure yet, but this was roughly about where it was last week when we looked about it. So I would say that it's going to stay the same week over week. However, what I found pretty interesting was I'm not seeing a huge, again, it's there, I'm sure, but like a huge intake or influx of like people now saying, cool, 3,400 is where I want to be at, or I want to be at the 1%. So like a lot of people were wagering this is going to make it like a lot of people push, but it doesn't seem to have that impact week over week.
Can we look at last week's?
Well, so this is last week's, right? And if we look at two resets ago, right, it's almost identical.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was kind of expecting to see that different.
Now, again, 1 week is not, people may have just been still kind of, worried more about gearing than they were pushing. But I'm very curious to see that based on what we saw in season 3 of The War Within. We're 1 month in right now, it looks like. So 1 month in, the rating was around 3,200 for 1%, and it finished right around 3,500. Okay, so a 300% or 300 point increase from where we are now to where the end of the season theoretically will be.
Right.
Okay. So if we look at this season, where we are right now, 1 month in, it's about 3,550. So theoretically, we're gonna have to land at the 3,800, give or take, key range to be able to get the 1%. Which right now the top 0.1% is in that range, 3,786. Right?
I feel like that's about right.
So do you think we're going to be going for 20s by the time, or 21s by the time?
I don't think. Well, it depends on how good hard power is, but if it's not, like, then I don't see it because we're already at the point where we're pretty well geared. Like, we don't have full bis. Like, we're missing the trinkets and the whatever.
We're missing about 10 eye levels of
and about 10 item levels. But like at the point we're at, like in the 16s and stuff, we're still like a mistake away from bricking the key. Like the timer is tightening up right at the 16 level. Now, do I think we're gonna have any trouble completing 16s by the end of the season? Absolutely not.
No, I think we can get 18s and we'll be,
I think we get 18s with near perfect play at our skill level, right? Like it's gonna be tight.
You're not factoring in I got to 3,400, now I'm retired attitude that's coming here soon.
Well, especially as the summer starts to kick off, like, because it starts getting warm, I'm kind of, like I was saying, where he's like, this week he's kind of like feeling like a little over it. Like I started booting up Roller Coaster Tycoon again this week. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon this week.
It's
like
coming.
I'm hitting WoW every night, but like not till like,
yeah, but when you've been hitting it to push.
Yeah, that's the only thing I want to do. I don't want to like gear and alt. Like I only want to do challenging stuff because that's what I find enjoyable. So that's always what I want to do. You guys just get all
the point I wanted to extract from this is that like I don't feel like there's going to be a huge tidal wave of people saying, "Oh, these new achievements, I'm going after them." Like a lot of the influencers and probably Blizzard as well thought there would be.
I'm gonna be honest. The 3,400 mounts, kind of fugly, kind of not cool.
I don't even see.
They're just recolors. Like,
I could see over the season people getting to 3,400, but I think it's not going to be like you're going to see it all happen at once. I think, especially with the bonus rolls, some people might just be doing 10 to 12s just to get their bonus rolls or just to get their vault filled. They might not be at the point where they're ready to kind of push that up yet. But yeah, I think over the course of the season, we'll see more people at 3,400 probably than we have before. But I still think that like top 1% and 0.1% title are going to kind of be the same.
If the same trajectory happens as it does with the War Within season 3, the top 10% will hit that 3,400 by the end of the season, right?
Yeah, was that at like about 3K in War Within?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so I
30,
think
60.
I think people have been saying, and I don't know if it was Lithian again, I don't remember who said it, but that like 3,400 feels like the new 3K. And I feel like that feels pretty apt. Like
Just based
it's
on the
like
current season's performance.
just based, yeah, and I feel like I feel like that feels exactly right. And if I'm looking at this data where it's like, we can kind of expect people around 3,400 where they were 3K and War Within. Yeah, I just think I think they did exactly what we were saying they should do for weeks. Like, hey, now that 3K is so easy to get, you're missing a reward tier level. They're like, okay, reward tier level here. They placed it perfectly. 3,400 is not going to be too hard for us at all.
They made it movable too, right? They said that it's not going to be 3,400 every season, so they can figure out. They can use the first half of the season to figure out, okay, what is going to be the 3,400, and then put it at that.
This is about the difficulty level that I enjoy, where we're pretty damn well geared, but not all the way well geared, and we have to play pretty damn well, but not perfectly, and work together as a team. It's like just perfect. That difficulty level is perfect for me. I like it.
Well, but the thing is, the 3,400 then tells me that Blizzard knew that this season was going to be easier and did it on purpose. Right?
Well, they didn't launch this right away. They launched it.
No, I know, but they knew the number. Like they said to themselves, okay, based on what we tuned this at, 3,400 is where 3K was last season. They didn't say like, oh, we're gonna make it 3K because that's in our mind that's where like the top 10% sit. They knew immediately 3,400 was going to be where that
the numbers are always arbitrary. Yeah. I mean, I remember in Shadowlands where like 2,800 was like really fucking hard to get.
I've noticed it feels like they made those like 10 to 12, those key ranges people are going to kind of be doing for their vaults and gearing. It feels like they made those easier, and then they figured if anyone wants to kind of hit those same thresholds, that's what like the key scaling is, right? That's why like the 10 to 12 range is a little bit easier, and then like how the key scale that point get way harder and harder because of the percentages.
But doesn't this like inflation happen where then, okay, now people are going to be feeling the FOMO of not getting the 3,400, or we'll call it 3K?
Well, that's...
And now they keep squishing everything back down again more?
That was actually what I was going to bring up. Was I've been actually seeing a lot of people making posts recently about how they are exhausted with like stuff like the. At first, I think a lot of people were excited, but now you're starting to see more people come out and say, "Man, I really hate that they just keep adding all these FOMO rewards. Like, you got to hit these certain thresholds." It's just like I think
what are they
people
supposed to
just
do?
Well, they're literally called FOMO rewards. Like if they're using that exact word,
let's define. What do you mean they are literally called FOMO rewards?
I don't know who's.
No, I mean those
they're
guys
not officially called it.
No one's calling it FOMO
the Twitter
rewards.
people that IO is talking about are self-defining it as FOMO rewards.
Sure.
And they're like, it's a
How many
FOMO
times have people on
world,
Twitter
and I have FOMO.
correctly self-defined anything?
I think calling it a FOMO reward is disingenuous, but if they're saying it's a FOMO reward and I fear missing out, it's like, yeah.
I think the idea is if it's a threshold you can hit that isn't like a percentage threshold and it's like amount, they just assume that, people are going to want to have to get it because they're like, well, I have to get all amounts. And I think that's what they mean when they say it like that.
They're like really not that good.
So here's the thing.
But for some people it doesn't matter. They just like checking off boxes.
So again,
okay, well, if they check off the box, they gotta work for it. Like I don't think there's tons of mounts that are hard to get. Like
but they're saying they
ones.
just like having the mounts that they can get, and then they don't really like that they're adding more because they feel it's just like an artificial way to boost like playing higher essentially.
I think that's fair, but I agree with myself more in that they needed a reward tier in between title and
what a statement.
3K. Look, I'm just saying.
Look,
I think it was a much more pertinent problem not having a reward between 3K and title. Like that was a way bigger problem.
One last thing before Frank takes back over. I think what you're talking about though is something specifically where you're like, I like pushing this specific point and I'm upset that I don't get anything for it. Whereas not everyone is like that.
But you have to recognize that there's a huge disparity in the difficulty of 3K and the difficulty of title, and that it's kind of weird that there is no reward to differentiate that play level.
Well, the reward is the score.
Yeah, but who cares about?
I mean,
number?
are they just going to give you something every 2 levels? Like eventually, at some point, there's got to be.
I would love if they gave me something every 2 levels. I'm like more rewards the better. Like
and you get the resilience, so it's.
Yeah, but that doesn't go from season to season. My ugly ass purple shredder tank will, like that I don't like.
Gosh.
I
Okay,
don't
Frank,
remember
go
what
ahead.
my score was last season. Like the number is cool during the season, but I like having something that lasts, right?
This is
Titles, mounts, whatever.
I don't know if I'm doing my math right, so I'm gonna put it up and you guys can tell me. But first things first.
Mm.
So about 9,500 characters hit the top 1% last season. All right. With more keys being done so far into this season, only 79, so we'll call it 8,000 people are qualifying for the 1% now. Right. And to me, that tells me that this achievement is not drawing people in.
I don't
This
think
number
it
should be
would drop. Yeah.
significantly higher. Now, again, yet is a good point,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the 1%'s a moving goalpost, so it doesn't like.
I feel like there's a lot of people who push title at the end of the season,
There may
though, right?
be,
Like,
but
there's like a
that was
big
with
push
Turbo
at the
Boost.
end.
That was with Turbo Boost. That Turbo Boost doesn't exist anymore, right?
No, we have a borrowed power coming in 0.7, don't we?
But that's
Purr.
all right. But the other thing I was looking at here that doesn't make sense.
Moving
is
on.
The top 10% is 3061. And
Mhm.
at 3K, these are the people who got 3K ratings, so they have to have a minimum of 3K. It was the top 17%, which means that between 3061 and 3K, there's a 7% player population that exists. And that blows my mind.
I think people just stop at 3K because that was
Yeah.
like the natural point where you say, oh yeah, I'm 3K, I won. Like,
so like, do you think that we're gonna have the 17% of people land in this then? In the
No.
Keystone Myth?
no, because
Probably
a
not.
lot of people are gonna retire for the summer.
So
They
then,
like
but
hit 3K
that's my point though.
first.
Then like, did the achievement accomplish what they needed it to?
It made me happy. That's what I needed it to do. So,
if you can't outgear 16s and easily complete them, then people are going to try. They're going to find it's more difficult than they thought, and they're going to take a break. And that's just how it works. Like, if people can't outgear content, then they just, they say, I did my best. I stopped at 14s, and that was, I'm happy with what I did and what I accomplished.
Especially this season, I feel like if people were pushing, had a really steady progression where they just got right to like 10 to 12s, and then as soon as they got any kind of friction, they're like, ooh, I'm hitting some friction. I don't like this.
You start at 14,
I
you
do
start to
that.
hit a little bit, and yeah, like Scrap will hit 3,400 and be like, this isn't fun for me anymore. Those are her words.
It doesn't matter exactly where the reward is. Eventually, I hit the friction where I start to get
Yeah.
too uncomfy, where I'm like, oh, I'm not having as much fun anymore because I'm scared the whole time, right?
It's not when Frank says he's tired of y'all's shenanigans.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
And, like, it's like, I mean, we're gonna be hitting that point where
all I hear is the fucking Benny Hill music. It's so fucking.
Frank is struggling, man. He's struggling.
Oh, I'm not struggling.
Well,
you guys are
So you're
struggling, and it's killing me.
You're struggling to keep up the mental,
Oh,
right?
God.
that's a topic for later. But look, here's the thing. When we start doing 15, 16s, I think that's where our struggle is going to begin when we start hitting those 16s, because you have to have half 15, half 16 to get 3,400.
No,
If I
all
recall.
I think 16s are going to be.
Is it all
You
16?
do it perfectly.
So, and then we're going to have to prog a little bit. And, some of us have the progging mentality.
We'll be
and
fine.
some
We'll
of
get
us do
16s
not.
done handedly. Like we
16s are
We will
fine.
by the end of the year, by the end of the season.
We can do 16s now.
Yeah, we're doing 16s now.
We just can't make mistakes. Like, we're doing enough damage for 16s. No problem, full stop. Like,
could have timed a lot of those 16s we did on an MDI pretty handily at max eye level, even with mistakes. So I think even with if we think we're gonna struggle, like we're gonna get the gear eventually, and we're gonna hit it. So
I know we are going to get it. I know we'll be fine, but I think for the average players in the larger player base, they're going to hit that friction, and they're just going to say, you know what, this isn't fun for me.
Well, the average
You know
player
what?
is like the top 40.
that
let's
mount's
call it,
actually
right?
kind of ugly. So,
And that's only 2,600, which is what
I'm talking about average
10s,
player and
10s-ish.
like who are consider themselves key pushers, maybe like that they.
Okay, the average
3,400
pusher.
might be a
The
little-
average pusher.
average pug pusher. I would
Okay.
even say.
Pug pusher.
Pug pusher.
I think, I think there's people like Fear who is just pushing through pugs mostly, and The thing about that is every once in a while you'll get lucky and you'll get a nice carry and it'll be fine. I think
Yeah.
those people will get through. It's just it takes a little tenacity. It
Look,
takes a
Well, we
little,
did it
we
last
did the
season,
we
you
did the
know?
wheel last season, and I
Yeah.
was able to get to the
Yeah.
top 1% last season by pugging alone, right?
On
yeah.
an affliction warlock.
On an affliction warlock.
Yep.
And so like it's definitely possible pugging it. It is more time consuming and it is more frustrating. Absolutely. I'm not
Yes.
gonna say that, right? But what I'm saying is that the whole point I wanted to bring this up was I was surprised to see how many people were saying, awesome, this is gonna make me push, this is gonna make me go further. And the data is not there yet. Now, maybe there's, again, I'm just looking at Radar IRO. Maybe there's something I'm not like seeing that would make more sense as to this. Tell me in the comments why I'm an idiot. But I was curious where you guys would think, like I said, 3,800 is where I think the top 1% will land. Do you guys think any differently? Do you think it will be higher or lower?
So, not
No.
to like tangent a little bit, but I think one thing that maybe tips off that they didn't put this reward in mind right away is that the mounts are just like kind of ugly recolors that they probably had just laying in the
God,
back.
you and the ugly mount.
No, yeah,
They don't
Scrap.
care
The
about
that there-
achievement I'm not
Yeah.
arguing is that was
Well, that there
forethought. I'm saying
isn't
the
a
number was.
cool. Well, I'm just saying that there isn't a really cool mount to push for. Like, if it was like a Bellerin recolor or something, I think people
Well-
would be like fucking
Well,
gunning for
we're
it.
talking about
1% get- The 1% gets
yeah,
amount
the
too. We haven't
1%.
seen it yet.
They get a number.
they get a
They
mount?
get to pick a mount
No,
out
no,
of
no,
a
no,
number
no.
of different
34
mounts.
No, that's
right?
the
3,400 gets to
3,400.
pick them out.
And they have the vendor up right now,
Oh,
and they're
3,400 gets to pick mount. So the top
Yeah.
1% also gets a different mount.
A new
they
mount.
get a type. Oh, a new mount. Okay, so that's
Yeah, they get a new
that's
mount.
that's my understanding.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be there, but I think they're gonna be well over 4K.
It would be cool if we can push for
Over
that.
over 4K.
Like,
okay.
I think over 4K. That's my
I mean,
I
guess.
don't know. It's hard for me to gauge.
You know what?
That's
You can record it
21s.
and I know. You can record it and tell me I'm dumb at the
Oh,
end of the
I don't think
season.
I-
Write a note.
Or you could say, "Gosh, that Lithian guy, he's so smart.
He nailed it.
He nailed it."
Yeah.
Io
What would all 18s be?
38.
36?
No, sorry, 3650. 40.
Yeah.
3650, and you said you think it's going to get up to about 3,800. So what is
Yeah,
that,
so
about
20s.
19s and 20s?
20s, yeah.
I could see. So if we're already to the point where people are kind of at this point of the season getting to 20, 21, 22s, kind of pushing, I could definitely see the 19 to 20 kind of rounding out that top 1% just based on how it tends to go normally.
But
Yeah.
you know what, the way I'm gauging it is that like Zigla, Techly, Reef, she was just telling me they're all pushing like Techly is like he's got 18 resilience right now. And he's a pretty damn good player. And 18 resilience I feel like is high, but it's not 20,
So,
you know. So
re-
it's like I feel like it's pretty hard still.
knowing Reef, like I know she pushes keys, like that's all she does is push keys and does raids. So like I mean I wouldn't be surprised to see her in the top 1% because she's someone that plays like that. But
Yeah.
But I mean it could be still higher or whatever.
Well, these are people that I'm sure are going to be in the top 1%, but I don't know if like, you know, if they're doing like 17s, 18s somewhat difficultly right now, like it's not easy to plug into that, then 20s by the end of the season, I don't know, that's pretty far from an 18 right now.
Techly and Zigla, tell us in the comments about how it feels when Scrap said you weren't good enough to do 19s.
No, I'm just trying to gauge because I know that like
Wow.
Techly said he's got 18 resilience, but I know Zigla was already kind of talking about like he's kind of like pugging is already really toxic at the 17, 18 level.
I'm sure.
So I don't know.
Can't find the numbers right now. I was hoping to find where the current scaling looks. Right, this is Shadowlands. Yeah. All right, well, we won't worry about it. All right, any other thoughts on that?
No, I think it's interesting to look at this data, but I think like just my vibes are kind
Oh.
of spot on if I say so myself that like 3,400 is like the old 3K, you know, and the data backs that up. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Okay. All right, Scrap, you said you wanted to talk at length about this.
I don't know
Time
if
for
I
me to
really
take a
have to
nap.
talk at length. I don't think it's going to be very
You
surprising
said
my
I
opinion
have a
on
lot
this.
to say about
No, yeah,
this.
you did say you had a lot to say, so I'm
let's
waiting.
Well, I
recap it
don't-
real quick.
I don't think that what I'm going to say is going to be contested, so we can just move on.
Oh, I'm
you
gonna
know?
contest it.
Where's
I'm
the-
gonna contest it just for fun.
You going to
now.
lick boots just to argue with me?
Yes, 100%.
You stick a
Just
boot
to
in your mouth
argue.
just to argue.
Frank will. Frank will.
Good.
And
Well, he was
can
gonna do that
you
anyway.
can you have like a stance where like you're okay with this but not have to lick boots?
Um,
No, apparently
so
not.
here's my issue. Why
Well,
don't you
well,
take that stance, Io, and I'll see if I can allow
well,
it.
what are we debating?
Show me what that looks like. Show me what that looks like.
It
Like,
just looks like being someone who does what they want with their money. I don't know.
Scrap, what's the debate though?
My problem is that they're launching another very expensive package.
Okay.
And they still haven't given us the roadmap.
Yeah, they got to
that-
fund the roadmap. They fund the
that's it.
roadmap
My
fund the
biggest
roadmap
problem
by
they-
using these houses.
They can't just say we're funding No, you can't just laugh about the roadmap. Like, we've been promised this roadmap over
You
and over.
keep saying
Holly
the word
Longdale,
promise, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
did Holly Longdale not say that she was going to release a roadmap?
No, they said they were trying to. They didn't make a promise.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously they're going to say they're trying to, so they don't have
Guys,
to like, be held accountable.
So they don't have to
for
say
it.
Thumbnail-
promise, you know.
Yeah.
The
I don't
thumbnail's
expect them
gonna
to
be
promise
Scrap being
it.
like, "Where's the roadmap?"
No, I'm just saying it just feels a little bit gross if I'm still feeling icky about housing because the last housing news was, hey, we're launching a ton of,
but-
this really expensive thing that everybody hated. And what's the next big news? Hey,
Well-
we're launching another expensive thing.
Yeah, because it was
Like,
wildly successful.
that's also predatory to these cozy
But
gamer
Scrap, here's the
girls.
thing. I
like-
get it. If you want to sit there and tell us that you're angry because they released a $75 thing after making a promise they weren't going to do this shit, right? Go fucking
So
crazy,
soon.
right?
Yeah, I'm also
But
angry
you're
about that. But
talking
this,
about
yeah.
the fucking roadmap.
I'm just saying, why am I getting excited about housing when they say, like, we have this cool roadmap that's for people who don't want to buy into the system, but the only thing that they've given us, like, so far is, like, 2 things that you have to pay for that breaks the promises that
That's
they
not true.
did make about
Well,
monetization of housing.
12.0.7 is bringing outdoor lights like
Because-
they promised.
Because you're playing Roller Coaster Tycoon instead of engaging with housing, so they gotta fund it somehow.
Oh, okay,
Oh my
Scrap.
God.
Have you
Yeah, like
have
me
you
engaging
have
with
you
housing.
have you unpacked your house yet?
No, I'm not engaging with housing because there's no gameplay loop that I enjoy with it yet. Also,
So
I'm
housing-
enjoying the
so
Mythic Plus
you're-
gameplay loop. So
How have you
Your
liked the
belief-
Mechagon thing?
I didn't even engage with it. I'm over it. They haven't impressed me with
we
anything
go.
yet. So
The Mecha- what's
why
the
engage?
Mechagon
It's hard to
thing?
impress you when you're not there.
well, I haven't been impressed so far. They've lost me. They need to get me back in.
I mean, I still think housing will go the way of the garrison, but I'm hoping that when this magical roadmap comes out, they're using these things you buy to fund the roadmap. By the way,
They don't even have to commit to like dates on the roadmap.
Can
they
we be
just
clear?
say
This
this
is
is
not
what we're working
funding
on
the
next. This is what
roadmap.
we're
It's
working on
paying
next.
for the company that does the player house.
Yeah, funding the
it's
roadmap
funding
is
the roadmap.
psychotic. It's
This discussion
psychotically
is a
generous.
farce.
Yeah, no, dude, funding
but-
the roadmap is insanely generous to this. Is like, oh, they have to like steal money out of our pockets in order to like sell it back to us, but worse.
By the
like,
way, I should point out they're going to have 2 accompanying mounts come with it as well for $25 each.
Oh, sick. Those
Sorry.
are those little
Sorry, just had to
I
make
don't
sure I
know.
point that out.
look, I know to be like a bit of a hypocrite, but for some reason
Okay,
the
how
mount
much?
really bother me.
How much is this? How much is this? By the way,
$75 for the bundle.
or $40 each.
$75.
But again, the bundle, it's like it has like 4 paths in it. If you want to like really do up your house with it, you need to buy more paths. So you're not just gonna
Listen.
stop at $75. Like you're gonna have to buy
You-
more and more and more.
You can get a tank of gas, or you can buy a fake house. What do you want to do?
Well,
Tank of gas,
what
how
if you
big's
have
your
an what if you have an
tank?
electric car, Lithian?
Yeah.
What if you have an electric car?
Yeah, Mr.
I don't
Rubian.
worry. When I had my truck, it was like, well, I don't even know what gas prices are now, but it's probably a lot
Can we
more
pull up
than
the
out.
item to item
pretty-
thing so I
pretty
can get extra
expensive.
angry about it?
What do you
But
mean item?
I want to see the price list of every piece.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Okay, so $75 and you get like all of this stuff, right?
You get
And you get like a
10
couple of
hedges,
these. Okay,
2
10
tables,
hedges.
2 picnic tables,
Okay.
1 stable, 4 planters, 2
planters.
rugs, 4
Okay.
windows. Oh,
4
2
windows.
screens,
You're gonna
and a
need more
parity.
windows
1
than
pond,
that, right?
1 garden, another pond, 4
Yeah.
lanterns, yada yada yada.
Yeah, 5 stepping stones. You need more than 5 stepping stones to make a path, bro. Like
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Let's say
I'm
so
just
for the sake of
and
argument, right?
also,
The paths
we take a look
are
at this.
10 to 30
10
or 10 to 50,
10
right?
cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents,
Yep.
still breaking their promise of no split currency. You cannot buy Hearthstone in increments of less than $1, and so you are gonna have leftover currency if you're trying to buy these things, which they explicitly
Absolutely.
promised they would not
Absolutely.
do.
You're right.
Yeah.
But you keep talking about
And
the
they doubled
fucking
down on it.
roadmap.
Look, I'm just saying that the last thing that I got angry about big housing news was them coming in and breaking explicit promises about the monetization of housing. And then there was news about like, oh, we're gonna have a roadmap
Scrap.
so that you can have your
It's this
mounts, so you can have
simple.
your pets, so that you can have copy and paste, so you can have this or that. This nebulous stuff that they're promising us so that we
Yep.
continue to engage with it, continue to open our wallets. That might never fucking come.
I mean,
Like
I'm not
it's
opening
just
my
like
wallet.
I agree,
yeah,
Scrap.
it's just like
They
keep
were
opening your
stupid
wallet,
for
keep opening
saying
your
it.
wallet.
They were stupid for writing that blue
The
post,
fact that
right?
they're putting a stable here that you can't even put your mounts at, and there's not even a roadmap for when I might be able to put my mounts in. I might not be able to put my mounts in until the next fucking expansion, and I'm gonna buy a fucking stable for $10 or whatever the fuck. How much is the
Scrap.
stable?
You're not buying the stable for the stabling, right?
What are we gonna put in the stable then? Fucking nothing?
What did you put in
Like-
any of the other stables that were free?
I don't have a stable. I don't know. Like, okay, so $5 for a fucking stable with fucking nothing in it and no roadmap for when I might get something. And also, roadmaps in general are very nebulous. They're like, oh, in the fall, in the spring. They're not putting fucking dates on that. Just give me a generalized roadmap and I will shut the fuck up about this until I get annoyed again. Which it might be your next fucking thing you do. I hate these packs. These piss me off. And the fact that they did them so close to each other, like literally a month.
It never
Like,
ends.
they're dedicating so many resources to like picking the pockets of fucking cozy gamer girlies like who open their wallets to The Sims. Like it feels predatory. It feels gross.
How do you know that the majority of the buyers are female?
I think just based on what they're targeting, that this is all like cozy pink girl shit. I don't think this is like targeting a male housing audience.
I like the color pink, you know.
I'm just saying, just looking at this stuff, this doesn't seem to be targeting a male housing audience. I'm not saying guys aren't gonna want this, aren't gonna engage with it, aren't gonna buy it. I'm just saying, look at the target audience for this. It's
Can I
girly
take a
pop
quick
pink
aside
shit.
to call out what was the number, Scrap? I told you that how many plushies they had. Do you remember?
Oh, you said there was like 100 or something,
Yeah, like
right?
100. There's 100 different color of the plushies that they keep giving away on Twitch.
Yeah.
No, so like,
because earlier that week you had said, I was like, oh, I don't have the white one, but I have like this one and that one, and you were like, but you're gonna miss out when they never release it again. And then like 2 days later, you showed me they data mined that there's like 100 different colors of it. I'm like, yeah, I'm really gonna miss out on the white one when I get the slightly off white one.
Recolors are free to Blizzard, so
free recolors. I'm chill with that.
fairness,
Like
you're
it's
not paying for
free. I'm
these
not gonna
plushies either.
complain. Yeah, I'm not gonna complain
Yeah.
about the laziness of a recolor. Like recolors, I get it. It's relatively low effort, and like I want different colored stuff. Although it is a little bit silly when they're recoloring things and there's like a dye system. It's like, okay, you can't use the dye system on your plushies. You have to have the specific colors. Little silly vibes, but I don't care because it's free.
Man.
Where's the lie? What do you disagree with, Frank? Like,
I agree. No, it's what I do agree with. I agree 100%.
Okay.
They shouldn't have made that blue post. That was stupid of them to do. I do agree, or I do believe that they're not going to acknowledge the fact that they lied in that blue post, because all that's going to do is cause them more headache, right?
didn't they apologize for the rollout of the first housing thing and they docked all the prices? Or did they not apologize?
They just nerfed.
They just docked the prices.
They're like, oh shit, yeah. I think they
'Cause
said
they
said,
yeah.
hey, we didn't realize how expensive it was. We're going to adjust it. That's what they said.
They very well knew that they continued to do these predatory practices of like split par steel and
scrap. Like, here's the way I look at it. Like, this is the way the world of gaming works, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's especially annoying they put this blue post that said, hey, we're not going to be that guy. And they farmed all the accolades and
it was
good
so
faith
fucking stupid. It was so, and again, it backfired and it cost them the good faith, right?
Yeah, definitely for me until they
nothing
throw
at
me a
all,
fucking bone.
they would be ahead of where they are right now.
Frank, we're going to be having this discussion 3 years from now when they're
of
still doing
course.
this shit.
Yeah.
Especially if they keep rolling this out. Like, what, the last one came out like a month ago.
It's like an arms race of how they keep outdoing themselves. Because again, we could have had 6 of these come out for like $20 and we wouldn't have brought this up on the podcast at all. But the $75 one is like, what the hell?
$75 and you only get 4 windows? Like, it's like $75 and you have to buy more if you actually want to use this stuff. Like 4 windows and 5 paths. Like it's like, dude, if you're paying $75, you should get I was saying this before, I can't remember if this made it to the podcast, but if you're paying $75, you should get a window voucher and you could just buy windows from a vendor.
How many items are in the bundle?
A lot.
A lot of
a
stuff.
total of probably like eyeballing it here. Let's call it 40.
So so how much would you pay
But
for
here's
all
the
that
thing.
then?
Hold on.
It would be more expensive, which again,
no,
something they
scrap.
promised they
Hold on,
wouldn't
hold on,
do
hold
is
on, hold
to
on.
bundle stuff to make it cheaper, so you felt like you had to get the bundle. They
Scrap.
said they
But
wouldn't do that also.
Hold on. But remember,
What?
there's one thing that is different than, for example, The Sims, right? Yes, you're right. You do have to go and buy more windows, but you can do that with gold,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So it's like, okay, for example, it's 5,000 gold to buy those paintings in Silvermoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do the math well, but let's quickly say $20 token, I get 250,000 gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a $20 token is 2,000 Hearth steel. Is that
Yeah.
mathing right? So like, how much does it cost to get, where's the window here? 100 Hearth. So it's $1, which is about 25,000 gold. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. That is a very
25,000.
yeah, right.
For one window.
Wait, is that even right math? Hold on.
I
No,
don't
that's
think you did the
10%.
math
No,
right
no,
on
no.
that.
No, it's
Yeah.
like 12,000. It's
It's
like
1,000.
12,000. No, 12,000 gold, right?
Okay,
Because
half it, yeah.
because 2,000 Hearth steel for 250,000 gold. Cut that in half is 1,000. Cut that by 10. Yeah, it's 12,000 gold. All right.
12,000 for a single window. You're not making your point well.
No,
'cause
no, I'm
that's
not. No,
pretty bad
scrap.
stuff.
No, I'm saying this, right? It is expensive, right? But you can
Mhm.
do things in game to get those windows, right? In the same way I can do things in games to get, for example, I think to replace one of the heart of, well, the dark heart, which I got for my achievement. I think it's like 20,000 gold to replace it or something like that.
To get a
right?
second one.
To get a second one. Maybe even more
Yeah.
than that. It might have been like 100,000 gold. I don't know. My point being though is that like there are things in the game that are wildly expensive, and again, we could argue, for example, 8,000 or 800 of this. That's, we'll call it 100,000 gold just for the sake of argument, right?
Mhm.
But the point is that if you really wanted to play the economy, I mean, hell, just doing work orders on a populated server, you can get tipped 10K, 20. Fear just got tipped 20K, right? Of just doing your professions, or selling house decor, which we did in the previous. I'm saying that, like, I get it. It is expensive. I get it. It is predatory with their other practices. But at the same time, they do have an avenue open where I don't have to play those games if I don't want to. And none of this is required, right?
It's not pay
Yeah.
to win.
If it was tied to player power, we'd have a huge fucking problem.
It'd be like
Yeah.
the fucking like a nuke went off, right? Like, of course.
But that
it'd be a
doesn't
huge
mean
deal.
I can't still be upset about a bomb going off.
No,
Like just because it's not a
what
nuke,
I'm saying is,
right?
what I'm saying is like, it's totally justified to be furious about the blue post, right?
Mhm.
But we have to acknowledge that the world works differently. I always say that, like, the fact that games are still, like, Nintendo raised the price of their games by $10, and everyone
Yeah.
lost their fucking mind.
Yeah,
Not
but you're
paying
still gonna
attention
buy
to
it,
the fact.
fucking
Well, no,
Nintendo.
beyond that, though, but like not paying attention to the fact that games have been $60 for like 30 years,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And so, like, inflation has not cost the games anything, but like, it's just the fact that, everyone thinks it's about greed. Yes, it is about greed to Activision, right?
I
But
don't
not to the
agree with the
developers, right?
Nintendo shit. Like it's like video games are like, especially Nintendo video games, is like the best like cost to hour of
yeah.
enjoyment you can possibly
Well,
buy.
no, but
The
all
fact
Switch games,
charge way more
have
for
that
it.
price point now. But that's not the point. That's not the point,
Yeah.
right? The point is that it's not the developer. Everyone always talks about how greedy the developers are, or how greedy, like, even let's call it Holly Longdale, right?
Yeah.
Holly Longdale might get some obvious, bonuses from this, but at the end of the day, it's the CEOs and the CFOs who are trying to appease the shareholders. That's the problem, right? And
Yeah, I have a
every
problem with
game,
that.
I know, I agree.
Yeah.
Fucking eat the rich, right? But what I'm saying is like,
Sure.
like, if we're gonna sit there and go on the forums, the CEO's never gonna see that shit, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, every other game company operates like this, Now, to be said that you pay $15 a month for this blah blah blah, that argument that always that chestnut. There are other benefits you get to paying your $15 a month sub, right?
Mhm.
And granted, there's discounts for bundling your sub as well, right? But what I'm just saying is like, let's accept the fact that this is just the way the world works. Let's accept the fact that if it doesn't do well, people lose their jobs, right? And again, not
Mhm.
the CEO,
I hate that like kind of like, oh, but what about the artists and the hard people that worked on it? Like if
no.
you're criticizing this like poor practices, then you're gonna hurt those people. It's like,
I'm
yeah,
not
but
saying
I'm
you
not
can't
the one
criticize
putting
it.
those people in
I'm not. Yeah,
bad
absolutely.
positions. It's
I'm
the
not saying you
people
can't
above
criticize
them.
it. I'm not advocating for it either. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, the anger does no one any good. Other than the
Does
blue
me
post,
good. It makes
go
me feel
crazy on the blue
better.
post, right? Go fucking mental about that one because
Yeah, we should
that was
not have
such
to
a
put up with
stupid
that.
fucking thing to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, like mounts have been, you know, the buying mounts have been in the game for what, 10 years now? Let's just call
Yeah,
it.
I don't have a problem
It
with that
hasn't
because I feel
affected
like
me in any way, right?
but I feel like it's also the size of the price point that feels bad, whereas I feel like buying a mount is not too bad. You pay $20, $25 for a mount that has
I
really
paid
cool animations or whatever.
$80 for one dinosaur, which
Yeah.
is a lot less
Which
than this.
had player power attached to it.
Yeah, but it was like a dinosaur that like you could have had.
Which, by the way, was
like,
probably the most
previously.
best-selling thing they've ever sold.
I didn't really have a problem with that either. It was like, okay, go off. Like people want that, and they put a high price point on it. Like that's that. I don't know. That just didn't bother me. It's something about this is $75, and you can't even have as many windows as you want for $75.
You know,
It's just
the
gross.
problem is that there is no roadmap.
That's it just makes me angry that there's no roadmap because
Lithium, that's a
clearly they're you're getting blown out again, Frank, by your light.
Oh, am I?
You were for a second. I don't know if you just
Okay.
got close to
It's
it.
back. It's back.
But the problem is that last month we had this huge drop that they put this huge price tag on.
Sorry.
This month they have another huge drop that they put this huge price tag
Yeah,
on.
but
we
Scrap, I think the reason why is because it was so
Yeah.
successful.
Well, and then next month we're gonna have a huge one, and we're still not gonna have a
Well,
fucking
It's
roadmap.
not exponential though. It's not exponential, Scrap. It's not like we're gonna have $150 one. Well, I'm gonna eat my
Well,
words
I
on
do
that one.
feel
But
like this is an escalation because it's the exteriors are roped in with this, so that's an escalation from the previous. Is that now you can have this fancy exterior that marks you as a fucking participant in this capitalist system,
So-
you disgusting human being. Like
now
I
she's
just
attacking the people who are buying it. By the way,
I am attacking the people. You should be ashamed of yourself. No, if you like
I'm
it, go off
sure-
girly. Spend your money on what you want. But I'm gonna walk by your
there's
house.
gonna be a
and get you
male viewer that
stinky.
was like super excited about buying this, and they're gonna feel like, oh shit, I have to what go off girly.
Scrap told
I don't care
me-
about who's excited about this. It's fine. You get excited by this, but like you just enjoy your dinner of boot. You fucking liquor of boots. Like
Scrap told me she was gonna kick me out of the neighborhood if I bought one of those
She
trees.
did
if you
say
put a
that.
pink
in
tree
my
in your yard.
yard.
I'm just saying, if I get a roadmap and then they're releasing more of these, I can be like, well, at least they're still considering those who aren't buying into the system. Like, you know, like at least I'm gonna get some of this
I
free
don't
stuff
know.
that's
The
promised.
roadmap doesn't change anything.
It does for me because then it makes me think, oh, they're
Okay.
dedicating resources to
So,
these things
but,
that they soft
mean,
no.
promised us, you know?
What I would say is they're putting pieces out. People are buying the pieces, and it's gauging interest for them, which is going to put more emphasis on putting together new features, new functionality, because people are actually buying into some of the content, right? I'm not a house person. My Minecraft house looked terrible all the time. So like it's just not my thing, but I'm sure there's a significant player base where they love this, right? And they see this stuff and they want to buy it, and that's okay. They can buy it. That's fine.
My fear with the roadmap and using the precedent of they put out a blue post and then they didn't uphold any of the promises they had. I don't know if they promised that like the mounts and pets walking around was going to be a free feature, but I feel like it was at least soft implied that was going to be
They said
free.
that cost $10.
No,
Right.
don't start lithium.
No, but I feel
I'm
like they
joking.
didn't
Scrap.
commit that those would be
They've
free
never put a
features.
feature behind a paywall.
No, they're not gonna do. They're not gonna.
Let's
Well,
remember this part
that's what your
because
sub pays for, Scrap.
my
Your sub
fear
pays for the feature, and then the
Yeah.
cosmetics are the real money transaction.
My fear for them
Right.
slowing, like not putting out their roadmap, is that they're like, wow, this like monetizing housing is going really well. I wonder what stuff on here
Let's
that's part of the
take
roadmap
away
that we
the-
can monetize. Like instead,
Scrap,
like
that's
you know,
like
like
saying, oh wow, this M plus thing's going really
It's
well.
my
I
fear.
wonder what we can
It's my
monetize
fear.
behind it.
no, but that this monetization is going well. That they're gonna try to pick things off the roadmap that they have secretly in the back and say, what of this can we actually monetize, and what of it do we have to give away for free?
I
Like I just want
understand
the
that that's a
roadmap now,
possibility,
so
But I also
yeah.
feel like there's 20 years of evidence to suggest that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but there's recency bias. There's recent evidence of they putting out promises and then backing out on them, like
He's pulling out
within
A lot
bias.
of
Scrap.
the
12 months.
a lot of the things in these bundles, I feel like, are things that they just can't fit in the game as a reward. So they're like, but they still want to put in the spring blossom tree, so they do. Like, think about they're still thinking about people who don't buy the stuff. How many times do I get a stupid piece of decor every time I finish a dungeon? You know what I mean? Like,
I've got 17 Silver Moon
I'm a little sick of
combat
those.
whatever things.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
No, but I mean, I think that's like, it's being a little generous to say like, oh, well,
Very
we have
generous.
this blossom. Let's just put it on the shop because we don't have anywhere to put it in game.
Yeah, there's not any pink trees any fucking place in World of Warcraft.
No, but even
that we
then, like, they could just
tie it
hold the
to.
pink tree until they do an event, like, you know, Love is in the Air or something, and just include
Yeah,
them that
totally.
way.
So what you're telling me is if they released a roadmap tomorrow, you'd be okay with all this content they're selling?
I would be less
Scrap.
okay if they do a third drop. That's $75 plus with no roadmap. We're gonna have a whole podcast episode where you guys aren't even on it. I'm just gonna be yelling at the screen the whole time.
Scrap.
Like, and I'm worried
Well,
that's
that's
You
the way it
keep
is right
saying that
now.
they promised you one. Like, you have to come to terms that there may not be a roadmap, full stop.
I want
Well,
to find
I,
somebody in the comments.
I
Where did they say that they were gonna give us a roadmap? Because I remember Holly Longdale
Holly Longdale
specifically
did an
bringing up the
interview.
roadmap.
She did an interview within the
I
Ambassador Discord, and
Mhm.
she said, we're working on getting one out to you soon. We just don't know, like she said something like, we don't know all the details of what we can fit in the year, to some effect, right?
Classic PR horseshit.
Yes,
talk.
and that's for the reason why it's PR horseshit is because people like you who will take the
Yeah.
little nugget they give you and say, why didn't you give me my full chicken nugget meal? Like, what the fuck?
Well, they don't just get to mention the chicken nugget meal and say we might give it to you, we might not. Like, but like
Why
all the
don't they?
people who are
Why
like,
don't they?
because they're
can't they
trying
do
to
that?
figure out what they can monetize,
Oh my
like
God.
instead of giving it to us for free, like we're
I
supposed to have it.
feel
Right.
like it was a situation where she was kind of answering a question, trying to get people
Yes.
excited, saying
Yes.
we have a bunch of stuff
She
coming out,
doesn't get
and
to
we're
have
gonna
credit for
we're gonna
that.
figure
and
out
they made
what
a
we
blue
can do.
post, right?
We're gonna figure out what we can do, and we'll get that out to you soon. But what can they do? You know, maybe they figured out it's a lot harder than they thought,
Yeah.
so maybe they can't announce anything yet. I don't
I'm
know.
not
But I'm
engaging with
guessing she
housing
just
until there's a
worded
roadmap.
it. She just worded it wrong.
Well, that's fine,
Well,
see, I
Scrap.
don't think
You're allowed
I
to do
don't
whatever you
think
want,
there's
right?
She should catch
there's not
flack
gonna
for wording it
be
wrong. It's her whole job to word
She
stuff
didn't
right.
word it wrong.
but they're not gonna create a separate roadmap for housing. They're gonna add the features into the bigger roadmap for what's happening in 07 and what's happening in 13
I feel like
and
there was an implication that
or
there was going to be a
12.1.
housing specific roadmap.
I think that's
whether
what
it's on
you
one or another, it doesn't matter, right? Like, it's on a
right.
roadmap.
I think you heard the words roadmap
Would it be
and you
possible to pull up
inferred.
what she said so we can actually look at what she
I
said?
don't
I,
no,
yeah,
because it
was
was a video.
100
It was a
years
video
ago.
We'll do
interview.
it.
No, it wasn't 100 weeks. It
We'll
was
do
like
it
3
after.
weeks ago. But like,
Okay, we'll do it after, and we'll have an edit to the
no,
podcast
no,
that you're
no.
gonna edit
Listen,
in on
listen,
like
listen,
Wednesday
listen,
or
listen.
Thursday.
Scrap.
Like
What
at the
is
end.
coming in 12.0.7 for player housing? Do you know?
No, because there's no fucking roadmap, dude. I have
Th-
no
There are
idea.
blue posts that explain exactly what's coming in 12.0.7.
Is it mounts or pets?
No,
Is it copy paste or
no,
grouping?
no.
Then I don't give a fuck.
Well, you don't give
I
a
want
fuck
that
because you didn't
stuff.
read it in the first place,
Well,
right?
are we moving on to that? I only get my
Let's go
information
on.
from the
Let's go.
podcast.
No, you don't, because I'll literally bring it up a week later, and you're like, wait, when did you tell me that?
Well, I don't
Yeah,
hold the information. I get it, and then I get
it's
rid
very
of it.
short
All right.
term.
Yeah,
It's
short term.
like goldfish style.
12.0.7 was announced.
Beautiful
Okay,
transition, Frank.
let's go through all the things talked about. There'll be a quote unquote showdown of the ritual sites and void assaults that are going on. We're going to go straight to the source of the threat and hunt down leaders behind, what is it? Nagtal and Val. So we're going to off worlds where like people of the void are hiding. So, you know, more single player shit. There is a new Omnium Folio, which is the player power burper. So Ramith and Umbric have I'm just gonna call them Ramith together. Ramith have
Oh, that's like
built-
their ship name.
yeah have built some silly thing. We'll talk more about that in just a second. New
Enemies to lovers.
raid Mythic Flex we've talked about last week, but there's also a new update to that around Woo. There's some
lore
lore
walking
walking.
Loa. I'm gonna definitely give a review on that.
So lore walking for all of the Zandalari, Drakari, Gurabashi, and the Dark Spear Trolls.
Hell yes.
calling out the fact that Chen is not doing the lore walking anymore. Not sure if that's a
He
permanent
died?
change. No, he just stopped. I don't know.
Oh.
People are upset about it.
Not Chen. It was Lore Walker.
Cho, right?
Cho?
Yeah.
Cho, yeah,
sorry.
not Chen.
There's some egg game. I don't know what this is about.
Egg
Whatever.
game.
We'll have a little precursor to the next chapter, the next raid with Zul
Oh, it wasn't
Jan,
enough
which is
to like have the guy say, I'm gonna make a raid, you guys.
well,
like
so
at the end of the question.
according to people online, there is a conversation that brings the night elves and the trolls to Harinar, where the Harinir tell them that they have a common ancestry, and it is the Harinir, and that pisses all the night elves and the trolls off, right?
Oh,
I'm
I thought they knew that. Like I
Well,
thought that was like a well-known
they like
thing.
taunted each other with it, but they never. It was like never confirmed to them, right? Like so, it was like an insult to tell a night elf that they have like a troll ancestor, right? I don't know.
But they people like, I mean, elves
Scrap.
like knew that, right?
From
Like
our perspective, it makes obvious sense, right? But what I'm
they
saying
live like
is,
10,000 years. Like they're like, oh, my uncle the troll, probably, right?
Right.
Like I don't know. Don't come for me, lore people.
new mount for the Turbulent Timeways has returned with
Ooh.
Viranoth or whatever her name is, right? Viranoth? Is that her name?
Varanoth, yeah.
So that looks
Cool.
like a really good mount. And a user. Okay, we'll talk about the UI stuff first.
I will be getting that because I don't have Farak or Razageth, so
They
I might as well
don't
get the other one.
have Nakud offensive in the Dragonflight time walking. That's a shame. I wonder why.
Maybe it's not working or something. The flying around.
Maybe.
All right, so we have the actual PTR notes. Here's what's coming in housing for 12.0.7. Lighting is now available for outdoors. You can add lights to your plot. They have a certain restraint so that they do not have indoors. 2 lights cannot overlap and will become unplaceable when too close. I think that's obviously what was breaking the game.
Okay, that's
light indicator
fair.
radius visuals will appear when the lights are too close and turn red when overlapping. 100 new common decors can be found in existing neighborhood vendors.
That's lovely.
Right, so this is really all that's coming within 12.07 is the lighting stuff. And UI stuff. So we'll knock this out.
Oh, yay.
It's nothing too crazy. So boss timelines will have the ability to swap left or right. This is a big deal for me as raid tank or raid leader, so I appreciate that. Adjusted the colors for gaining threat and high threat. I thought this was a big deal because I don't understand what the orange versus yellow versus the red with the glow is telling me. So hopefully this is very clear on what that's actually
Generally, I know red for the glow precedes my death often.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so...
Well, I mean, as a DPS in general, if you see colors, you're like, oh shit, right? But as a tank,
no, I panic immediately.
I'll tell you, as a tank, I can't always remember if I have threat on the target because it like will change color, but then I'm not sure. Like, wait, is it the color that I want it to be? And so hopefully this is a better indicator. Added a new option to enable or disable spell alert glows for special procs, so that's nice. Especially around maybe this is only around when having the single button assistant on the action bar. I'm not sure, but it'd be nice if you could turn off some of the glows because some of them, as you said, Scrap, they glow and you don't want them to. They'll have a great vault tooltip update. Okay, cool. Damage meters. So the in-group visibility, added an in-group visibility option. I'm not sure what that exactly means.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I think
because it's my group anyway. Like in group, like in raid, like that does my group.
No. That's saying like if you're just doing like world content, it's not going to show up.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like when you let's say you leave the dungeon and go do a world quest
when you're not in a group, yeah.
Lower the minimum window size, so if you don't want to, blah blah blah. Shift clicking a damage meter now opens a details window so that you can move it around and keep it open as long as you want. That's nice. Quality of life.
That's cool.
PvP stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a shit. Cool. Show class colors. Nice. Personal resource display is getting more customization, so you can change its size, bar width, height, yada yada yada. That's nice.
I would love to make that fixated. Is there a way to make that fixed instead of like on me? Because I hate when it moves around.
It's that's already in game. You can put it right below your foot and move it. Yeah.
Just something I didn't know.
Yeah. The health bar and power bar can be hidden separately instead of the previous single option with hit both at once. Added an option to hide the class resource bar, combo points, soul shards on a personal resource, or end the player unit frame. Not sure why you want to do that, but I guess maybe UI like add-ons would be. Show class color checkbox, which changes the health bars on players' class color instead of their default green. I think that means like if you have it hovering above their head. Added a show bar text checkbox. Show bar text checkbox, which enables numbers on the health bar, power bar, and alternate power bar. That's nice.
On the personal resource display, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Personal resource display has been updated with new art. Might be cool. Might look good. And then a personal resource display has been fixed for the augmentation evokers.
I always turn personal resource display off because I hate how it jumps around and.
Again, you're using the wrong one, but yeah, I always have to have it on.
Okay. So I might experiment with this because like that's the one of the I only have 2 add-ons on right now. One of them is just a resource bar add-on that it's right below my character so I can see it better. Like I can see the numbers more clearly than looking at my actual character. So it would be nice to kind of sub that out if I can.
Now, the question I have about this before we move on to the other 12.0.7 stuff is this a good pace of UI changes? Or do you think that they're purposely waiting for 12.1 to really drop some bombs?
I mean, personally, I think where the UI is right now is very usable, so it's not high on my list of like, please, I want to see adjustments to this. Like, but I'm happy to see that they're making steady changes to it. Like, I would like to see every patch, like we get some kind of like steady customization open up or on like one little thing. Like, I'm happy with this pace.
But like the damage meter as an example, right? These things look like they could be. I know why they waited them for a patch, but like they could have been added on a weekly reset.
Yeah, this is not a big feature.
Right?
Like this seems like almost like a bug fix
like,
type level of.
Adding a shift click to keep a window open probably wasn't.
Yeah, why can't I have that now?
Right?
Like,
and I feel like with, for example, 11.2.7 or whatever, 11.1.7 when they added the single button rotation. That was like a huge change, and it came in a 0.7 patch, and that was kind of what I was expecting going into this.
I think we'll see, but that was all like the last season, like preparing for all these big changes we have going to midnight, wasn't it?
No, it was
one button.
It was the Undermine season.
Oh, was it?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I kind of expect to see that stuff more preparing for the next expansion, like bigger UI changes, like getting ready for new stuff.
Be like, for example, maybe they have some sort of weak aura thing they build for the next expansion. But I do expect that like they have what's I don't know, what is something that stands out to you guys right now is like a glaring hole in the UI that add-ons have to solve for? Oh, the whitelist blacklist, right? I don't think we can wait till the expansion to have a whitelist, right?
Yeah, I don't play a dot class, so I'm not very frustrated by that. But I was gonna say auto marker, but I know how you feel about that.
But I will say this: it'd be nice if they, like there's an add-on where you can like quick rapid fire add an I don't know what it is, but you like hold a hotkey and you can like mouse over to say I want this marker on it right away. That would be nice to add to the game, right? But I don't want an auto.
Or if the tank on their route can assign like if they're setting up their route that they can say, okay, like in an MDT kind of UI for them to say this is going to be star, this is going to be moon in this pack, this is going to be star, this is going to be moon, so that when you enter the dungeon it's already marked.
I wouldn't be well, okay, let's just say in general I'd like to have an MDT tool built into the game. So like that's another example, right?
MDT, yeah.
But I don't feel like at the pace we're seeing with the UI right now, when 12.1 is announced, I'm now worried that we won't have a really cool feature to go along with it when it comes to the UI. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think that the UI is functional enough that I'm not expecting cool features in the middle of the expansion, right? Like, I think
they're too busy doing bug fixes to do any feature adds.
Yeah, I want tweaks.
Honestly, I mean, these small tweaks are really just trying to fix bugs or try to make the experience what they thought the experience should have been when they released it originally, like the damage meter stuff and everything else. Like,
yeah, but there's so much more to do on the damage meter, right?
There is, but you're not going to get a whole lot. I also don't think that the UI is their top priority. So
yeah, I don't think so, especially if people are not engaging with it by still downloading a ton of add-ons to adjust it, like how Lithian has it.
So do you think this is the signal that the UI add-on race is dead and they lost?
When I saw that this was even getting touched, like at a 0.7 patch, I was like, oh, that's good. They haven't completely dropped it, right?
So,
like, I'm happy with this.
There's a couple of new add-ons that got released by the Chinese community called like Xbox and X Tools, and they offer a ton of functionality that you used to get from weak auras on trash packs and boss mobs and everything else. And I tried it out, but a lot of it was in Chinese, so it was hard to adjust things and do things because I can't read Mandarin too well. But I think the add-on community is trying to find ways to cover the gaps that were lost from not having weak auras and things like that anymore. And I think that's just going to be more prevalent, and they're going to spend more time doing that. And I don't think Blizzard's going to spend a whole lot of time trying to combat that or do anything to bolster what they got. They're just going to build a stronger foundation for newer players.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
think
my
too.
that's my
That's the
theory.
goal.
I think that's pretty much what it is. They're gonna get something in place that's really good for newer people, and then if you're someone who gets a little better and you think to yourself, I need a little bit more, then you'll have the add-ons out there that you can get to supplement that.
But if
And
that
then
were
I'm
the
sure they'll
case, why would they nuke? And I'm saying nuke. They really didn't.
Nuke.
But
They
why?
didn't. They
Why?
backed off of it.
No. They.
I
Obviously, it's
think
complicated
they
to just say
wanted
one way or
they
another.
wanted to make it simpler so that they could have an idea of what information that they needed to display. And I think they wanted to just kind of keep it in kind of like a specific pocket of, we can encompass all of this as best as we can, and then the extra customization can come out on top of that. But I think that they're still kind of figuring out that even when they do that and they say, okay, we have these systems in place, the add-on developers still find ways to either get around them, or they haven't had a way to kind of do something good enough yet. So then they make the exception, like, okay, we'll take away, you can color your nameplates, for example. So I think that was pretty much what I was thinking.
But
Yeah,
like,
I
does the
mean,
color? Does like you can't really? I know that there are some things you can color the nameplates, but it's not really that effective like it was without like the plate or whatever.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
mine are. I
Mine
mean,
are just, I mean, I'll know which mobs need to be kicked. That's about it. Like
yeah,
what
I
are like the
know.
important ones.
Well, I know which mobs need to be kicked. I know when my kick is available because the cast bar is green, and that means I
Yeah.
can like my kick is up. And like they're to me, it's very similar to the way it was before. I think that the entire goal of all of this was for Blizzard to say, "Hey, we don't want add-ons to play the game for you, right? We want to get rid of a lot of the computational add-ons that were out there, and we're going to find ways to make it more uh, easier to play the game without needing all that, right? So they simplified the specs, they created this UI, and they did a bunch of stuff to make those changes. And I think that has been successful for the most part. Aside from, I guess, people hating certain DPS specs because they're boring now, as Scrap would say about
I didn't
survival.
hate it. I just
But
don't think it's as good as everybody's saying it is.
yeah, but I mean, Weekora has decided to back out. They didn't have to. There's still Weekora forks out there. They're not very good, but you know, there's still stuff out there you can do. It's just you can't do the computational stuff, and you don't need to. Like the rotations
You
have
don't
been
need
super
to.
simplified to where you don't need to. You got one button rotation. I think they got what they wanted out of this. I don't think they're going to add anything crazy. So.
Yeah, but it would really nice if they had some. It's surprising because like they did the Limdorny whatever add-on or not add-on FX, and it's just like, oh my god, that's like one step closer to this awesome feature they could build. And I really hope they don't just
MDT.
yeah. Well, not but again, like think about MDT but on crack, right? Like being able
Yeah, that you can
to, as you
customize
said,
what's light.
like
Yeah.
why not make it so that you could say, all right, this mob is going to be my star mob in every pull or whatever.
Listen,
Yeah.
That'd be
man,
so
they're too
awesome.
busy.
Yeah.
They're too busy making housing stuff to sell on the free market. So,
That's what I've been saying, dude. They like we're gonna get a new $75 housing pack every month, and this is what
but
we
you
get
know
for
what?
UI,
You're not
Frank.
going to
And
get
you're
that
gonna say,
MDT.
well, yeah, and then Frank's gonna say, well, that's fine. Like,
Because they're the same team. All right.
well,
What
there's resources they allocate to each team, right? And they're clearly not dedicating resources to the UI team.
Yeah, the UI team's just
Yeah,
a guy.
yeah,
sitting
because
in a corner.
This is the UI team. It's
probably
just a
because-
spider desk with spider webs on it.
Fucking Christ, I'm not gonna get baited. All right.
You're the one who was kind of pitching that. You're like, I don't. This isn't good enough. It's not. It sucks.
No, I
Shut
said
it,
I was
dude.
worried, but I'm not saying it's not good enough. Obviously, like you
Yeah.
said, it's like it is work is still going on. I just want I
Yeah.
want them to take it a step further and make the game elevated based off of, again,
But
like
then
a
you have
really
to
killer
encourage
feature.
people not to engage with add-ons and raw dog it like you and I are doing.
Well, no, I get it. Like for me, it's like if you want add-ons to really customize the way your screen feels, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I do feel not having. What's another example? Okay, let's say
Automarker.
automarker if it still existed, right?
Nice.
Just for the sake of argument.
Nice.
Not
Yeah.
having an automarker in the group that I play with you is kind of a problem, right?
It's a problem.
Because you aren't using your macro like you're consistently supposed to.
Well,
don't have
no,
a
my
macro.
problem is that I do mark something and I say I'm gonna kick this, and then everybody kicks it. Haywire kicks it, and then he's like, some
Not
cast goes
everybody.
off, and he's like, I don't have a kick for that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you didn't mark something. That's
And
not my
rightfully
fault.
so. And guess what
Like-
happened? I said in that key that you had that specific example, I said, I'm
Yeah.
tired of your fucking tomfoolery. You guys,
Yeah.
Haywire's trying
Not
to
my
wind you up.
tomfoolery.
No,
yeah.
you're doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Okay,
Yep.
new burper coming from
Burper, yeah.
12.0.7 called the Omnium Folio. It looks like it's just like it's a talent tree.
It's
very
so
linear.
sad looking.
It's very, very linear.
It just has
the-
choice nodes, right? So for example, you can have
There's
Yeah.
no choice.
No,
Yeah,
cho-
what
oh
are
no,
you
no,
talking
there's a
about?
choice on each
Oh,
one.
they're choice
Yeah.
nodes. Each
Yeah.
one is a
Yeah.
choice node. That's
It
a
is
tree-
really.
a
They
tree
should
would
have
be
made
cooler.
a split tree, like just so it looks
the tree
cooler.
is
Because
cooler.
look at that UI design. There's so much empty space. It looks so
this is the way I looked
stupid.
at it though. It's
Yeah.
always the same shit, right? Like people are
Right.
gonna say this is your best and this is your best, this is
Yeah.
your best, right? And why
Yeah.
bother spending money and resources on like it's
I'm
all the
just-
same
a
shit. Let's
graphic
just go.
designer designed this, and this looks fucking stupid. Like if it's gonna be trees, that doesn't really matter what you pick
I
anyway. Can you
wouldn't
at
be
least make it look
surprised if a
nice?
graphic designer didn't design this.
Yeah, an AI grok
No,
designed
no,
it.
or like I always
Oh.
think of within my company, right? We talk about Leo all the time.
Yeah,
Leo just goes like, "Fuck it, I'm not wasting people's time. I'm just gonna throw something together really quick, right?"
yeah.
They
This
they
is
go and find a
giving.
whole bunch of assets, and they go, "Yeah, whatever, fuck it." And,
This is giving someone through this together,
Right.
and it looks. It
Yes.
doesn't get me excited about this
Yeah.
fucking horseshit
I-
borrowed power that I wasn't excited about in the
but
first
would you get
place.
excited about it? No, like
Well, that's what I was about to ask. I was
Should
gonna
look
say,
good.
between like the cloak and the belt, aren't you guys like sick of
No.
these kind of features?
I
coming
never
in?
like borrowed power. I never do. It's never fun.
It's-
It's always just
Didn't
like you
actually
have to
read
do
this.
it.
It has nothing to do with borrowed power. It's just like every 0.7, it feels like they just add this weird thing, and I just don't understand. Like, is it something that
Arbitrary
actually
buff.
appeals to people? Yeah, like I mean, so you
No,
have
it-
these
No,
things
it
that
just-
call down.
It keeps up sub retention.
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
it.
it.
Yeah.
That's it for very little. They didn't even dedicate a graphic designer to it.
Like,
And they're gonna get all our sub retention for absolutely no work.
Well,
thing-
I mean, I've been paid for years, so it doesn't matter
The
for
thing-
Prime
me.
page
but-
is for the trading post. So
The thing is, it's like I don't care how boring and whatever this is, because at the end of the day, putting gems into once I said it, I'm gonna forget it, right? It's like I picked
Yeah.
the
Okay,
best.
so
of
what
slot
are
I'm
the
on.
borrowed powers?
it just feels a bit lazy.
No,
like
no,
it's
but-
saying like, yeah, fuck it, you're not gonna look at it anyway.
and I'm okay with that because that's true. But where I want this to be exciting is how I have to hunt it down.
Interact with it. Oh,
Right,
hunt with
so
it. I was
I think
gonna s- yeah.
I think the audience wants to know what the borrowed powers are.
I'm going to get to
Yeah,
that.
tell me about the
Lithine. I
borrowed
just want to
power,
finish our
Frank.
thought. What I'm saying though is like, so Scrap, remember when they had the what was it, season 2 or no, season 1 of Dragonflight, the
Mhm.
what was it, the prison, what was it
Oh,
called?
the Cersei. No, not
Oh yeah,
Cersei circlet.
yeah. It was, wasn't it? It was a ring.
No, it was
it had a
Cersei
weird
circlet was
name
last
that
thing.
didn't sound. It was a necklace.
No,
Whatever.
it was
No,
a it was a ring.
It was right.
It was a ring, but it had a
I'll
name
look
that
it
was
up,
weird.
but I can't remember.
But the
Hold
point
on.
is like doing that mini game to get
Oh, it
things
was
online.
so fun.
Was good, right?
The tower was bomb.
And then they
it was
did-
so sick.
And then they did in the War Within, they did the island. Not so
that
good.
sucked.
It
That
didn't.
sucked ass.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good, right?
It was Frank. It was terrible.
No,
what are you
Onyx
talking
amulet.
about?
Onyx
yeah.
amulet.
All right. Anyways, Lithium.
No, amulet. That's the thing. That's what I thought it was a necklace because I thought it was amulet, but it was amulet with an N.
We
It
got
was
it.
a ring.
Thanks, Scrap.
No, I was
That's
just I was
probably
just reiterating why.
that was probably my favorite one out of all the ones they
Yeah.
did. But that's
Dude,
also
it was the
because
best.
it was new when they did it, and it
Yeah.
also made an actual impact.
Well,
Yeah, and it
most
was
of them
other
do
ones
make an
do
impact.
too, but
yeah. All right. So, Lith, you're so worried about them. Rune of Void touched orbs. Every 10 seconds, you attract a void orb that you can get up to max of 5. Your attacks send these orbs at your enemies, dealing damage. Your heal spells send the orbs at the lowest health and restore health.
100% passive.
Or Rune, well, I'm wondering if you have to attract
Collect
a void orb.
orbs?
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
Rune of
just
Unleash
straight
Fire. Your
passive.
spells and abilities have a chance to call down a pillar of fire, dealing X amount of damage
passive.
to an enemy, cauterizing a wound of a nearby. It's literally like the same thing.
Yeah. The illusion of choice.
It's like this is 100%
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah.
All right, Rune of Self-Mending. When below 75% health, your core rune also heals you for health. Or Rune Avoided Tainted Shell. When struck by more than 10% of your max health, you get an Absorb Shield for the damage.
Ooh, someone's gonna survive Bellerin.
Yeah. What's the cooldown? Only every 30 seconds. Actually, that could help
You think they're gonna not adjust Paladin before the 0.7 patch? That he's like really gonna need this.
They got the
There's no
patch
more
notes out.
tuning.
There was nothing coming.
This is all the tuning.
Brutal.
Well, they might add more, but yeah. All right.
Yeah, there might be more. When's
Rune of
0.7? Is
Lingering.
there a
Your
date?
effect of your core rune leaves behind a periodic dot. They're literally the same numbers. I don't. All right.
That one doesn't even have a choice. That's just you get it.
Yeah. All right. So this is Rune of Crit, Rune of Haste,
this is
Rune
just-
of Mastery, Rune of
Yeah,
Versatility.
secondary stat.
And then the final node, Rune of Overlord, increases the effectiveness of your core rune ability by 100%. Rune of Residual Energy increases the effectiveness of your Rune of Lingering by 100%, which is this one right here, the dot.
Somebody else will tell me which one I will
Yes,
be
of
taking.
course. Rune of Echoes.
Yeah.
The effect of your core rune leaves an echoing curse on your target. After 10 seconds, an echo of all damage and healing done by your core and lingering rune is repeated 50%.
So I would say, if not a really fun and engaging way to get Borrowed Power, like the Dragonflight one with the tower, can we at least have Borrowed Power that changes the way our class plays, even the tiniest bit, like not just entirely
there's no way
passive
that's
or shit?
happening, Scrap, because that's 40 different
Like-
variations of a borrowed power.
Okay.
That's what the tier
I'm-
sets are for. That's what the tier sets are for.
Well, I'm just saying this is just horseshit that I have to get because I have to get it, and I feel like
As
it's
is
starting
any
to feel very. I feel like it's starting to feel lazy. The Borrowed Power, like this image of this sad line in this field of brown. It just feels very undone.
Well,
It's like,
field
hey, we
of
need you to keep
brown.
subbed, you guys. We need you to keep
And
subbed, and we can't
it's-
dedicate a lot of resources to it right now.
It kind of goes back to earlier where we were talking about not feeling compelled to log in. It's like this is the same as the 0.7 patch before it, as the 0.7
Yeah.
patch before it, as the 0.7 patch before it. Like the last two expansions did this exact
But
same
in
thing. It's tough to get
Dragonflight-
excited about the game
Yeah.
when they just keep doing the same.
No. They give us
Keep going.
less and less each time, right?
Well, it's nothing to do with less and less. It's just it's yeah. I mean, I guess that's it too. They're
I-
just like, here's the system now.
But
They're
like,
stripping it down enough and seeing like how little they can get away with to keep a certain level of sub retention.
Maybe,
like,
but-
we might not have to build a tower. We can
But the
just
thing is,
give them a
people aren't-
line and they'll go
people
for it.
who don't people aren't going to be like, oh, the 0.7, I got to resub. I don't think people do that. I think people are subbed anyways.
People
They
who are
say
trying
they
to
do
get that
They
1%.
say they do
Yeah.
that, Ioski. I don't think there's evidence to support it, but they say they do that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just Bard Power. They bring out something like that Dragonflight, but I feel like they're just going to give us less and less until they see a dip in sub retention. They're like, oh, we got to give them more again.
Well, part of
But
me
so far, they
wonders-
haven't found the bottom yet.
Part of me wonders if they feel like every time they did something like the island, right? They
Yeah.
said like, oh, for the first 3 weeks we had huge, like engagement, but then it was like a ghost town, and they're asking themselves like, why the fuck are we doing this? Let's build
But
more
somebody
dungeons.
there has to be somebody cognizant enough to recognize that island sucked. Like it wasn't good or fun. And whereas
Well,
the Dragonflight
I-
Tower, which is very simple concepts, like and had a lot of randomization, but it was just like a simple tower. It wasn't a whole ass island. It was like so much more fun.
I think Scrabble may
mean-
have sucked for you, but there were people out there who did like Stoop enjoyed it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
There's
but fucking
there's
low
people.
bar.
Well, is it though? Because like, how big of a player base are those people?
Well,
right?
let's see
And
how many people enjoy this? And is there anything to enjoy with a single lie in a
Well,
field of brown?
this
Like,
this is not that, right?
yeah.
But I think, you know, a bunch of creatives sat in a room and they came up with that island idea and they thought it was good enough to ship, and I thought it was, you know, I thought it was just a chore, but there are
It
some people who
I
engage with it.
I do feel like it wasn't lazy like the island. Like they put work into it. It wasn't fun. It was awkward to navigate. Like the time
Yeah, the
gating
storm
was
thing.
frustrating. Yeah, it just wasn't fun. It just felt like so much of a chore because it wasn't a fun gameplay loop. But they put resources into it.
But this, I don't, is there, is, so do we know how we engage with this?
I thought
How do
we
you get
engaged with this
these?
from the Void
Every week something unlocks. No, not from the Void Forge, as far as I know.
But you don't
Oh,
have to do anything. It
No,
just
this is
unlocks.
Umbric and
there's no
Rama
island.
Thora.
There's no fun thing.
No,
Oh.
I don't think we know for certain how it, like, what will cause it to unlock, but it might be as
Right,
simple
that was the
as
question.
you do you know, your weekly quests or whatever, your weekly Mythic Plus, you know?
I feel
Just
like
do a
it's
quest and you get the next node.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's hard not to compare to other, bard power things they've
No,
introduced. It
it's
does feel like a
undoubtedly
steep line
not
down.
there, right? But at the same time, the reason why that might be is because they said, and they got feedback, we don't want to do that shit. Just give us the thing, do your time game that you're always going to do because you want to keep us sub, blah blah blah, right? And so
I
Blizzard
think
said,
it's
like,
hard.
fine, let's not waste the energy.
I think it's hard not to
Okay,
acknowledge they give us less and less and are just seeing where people get upset.
but
Like,
okay. So how do they innovate? Like, what do you want to see?
I would love to see some kind of time-gated minigame like the Dragon Flight tower.
The tower.
And that the tower also had an island that had like the rares and stuff and like all this kind of stuff that you engage with. It wasn't just a tower and that's it. Like it was a relatively
Yeah, but how
involved
much of that stuff
0.7
did you
patch.
do that? Did you
I
do
did
any
a
of it?
lot of that because I did because you had to like charge up your ring by killing rares and stuff. I don't remember exactly how it was. And also a lot of the rares they dropped like cool mounts and cool
Yeah, but they
things,
had that
toys,
stuff
whatever.
in this, right? Like, that's what this is for.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Well,
good.
well, who knows? All right.
That's good.
Okay.
That's great.
What other things are coming with this patch? Okay, so we have Woo will be dropping from this Spore Fall raid. So that means that
Oh.
if you get an item, you don't have to keep it for yourself. Do
Cool.
you think this is a good idea?
I think it's great
So I
for a
could give it to
0.7
my alt?
patch. Yeah, because you might be thinking, man, I really don't want to play Devour Demon Hunter again for another season. I'm gonna
That's what you'll
start
be thinking?
maybe. I'm gonna start gearing my season 2 character. So this is like an awesome way to kind of like push that forward.
Or catch up
Yeah.
your alts?
Catch up your alt, get your alt ready like for the next season. Like I mean, I think that's realistic for a lot of people. They don't play the same character season to season. Like they
Are we
maybe they're like, oh my
so
god, we really needed a mage for raid, and I'm gonna play mage
when
now.
when this releases, are we gonna roll wheels for the next season?
I'm down to roll a wheel again. Like I'm always
I
down.
I like the wheel. I think it's a good idea,
I
especially
do.
if I'm going to
Wait,
Acknowledging that I benefit
I
from
was,
the wheel,
I was like, wait, what?
well, because I
wait,
benefit from the
sorry.
wheel more
I didn't
because
do the wheel.
I only play
Are
DPS.
so we're getting woo from this, but is there anything gonna actually be good on it? Because if it's just gonna be woo stuff, or is this just
Well,
a
it's
world boss
mythic.
in a raid?
Mythic woo.
The idea behind it is that if you there's no indication to say that it will be clearly a best in slot, right? And it even looks like there's some randomization to the stats.
Oh, but you can give stuff to your alts then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
like
you
for
can't.
Yeah, that's
There's
what
example,
I'm
no
saying.
mythic woos right now. Like this is the first mythic woos.
Like this is the point
no, you can
where
get, I think, no, maybe
Oh,
just
I don't
from
know if you
mythic raid, you can
yeah.
get mythic woos.
No, I think you can only get hero track from Mythic raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that image mythic boo?
Yeah.
The This is the point at which people are starting to think about what they're going to do next season. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, oh, we could do the wheel and then we can make a thing about it, right?
Yeah, we'll
And
have to do it before the 0.7 so I can level up if I have to.
right, that's the point. Is I'd like to start gearing whatever that's going to be and all
Yeah.
that. So,
But like, I don't see any
anyway,
trinkets in this picture, but this is also where it's like, right now I am okay. We even talked about this because you guys are telling me I need to play my mage instead of my healer. So
We're not telling you. Somebody else is telling you.
No, Scrap. They're not telling me anything. You're telling me, but that's okay.
Well, I'm telling you.
Let's not
in
argue
his
the
best
semantics
interests.
right now. Anyways,
Like,
point is that I am raid leader and I need to raid lead on my paladin, right? And so I am wanting to main my mage in this scenario, but I can't go and get the trinket without having to pug it, which is like a disaster of a way to get, like, you just have to RNG proc a lucky roll, right?
You can raid lead on
Not
your
even
mage.
No,
the
who are
dragon.
you gonna tank with Lithian?
But he can't come and take a take a gaze on his mage.
Every time I
Like,
tank with somebody else, it's terrible.
That's
And
what
every
I'm
time I
saying.
don't tank, it's terrible.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's
So that's why it has to be done. Anyways,
Yeah. That's fair.
point
That's
is
fair.
that, like, I really like this idea, but I'm now also like, damn, I kind of wish they would just carry this forward after a certain point, right? Like, I get it that maybe for the first, like, it'd be nice that if we were to continue to do raiding into the 0.7 patch, just for the sake of argument, right?
yeah.
That I don't have to sit there and say, let's do an alt raid. I can bring the whole main crew and we can all get our alts filled up by that point, right?
Yeah, I like this, that you can pass stuff.
Yeah, so it'd be
along.
nice that
But
if they took this to the
do you
main
have
raid as
to-
well after a
Do you
certain
have
point.
to, like, can you say I would like to roll on gear for an arcane mage even though I'm playing tank?
Well-
Like, is there a way to put yourself in that loot table?
Well, that's up to the raid leader.
Historically,
Interesting.
I mean, I thought historically the woos were just randomized.
Yeah.
They
to-
are,
to-
yeah. So is that
No, but like,
is there
what
a
I-
way to say I'm looking for these woos?
No, but there,
No.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't a master looter option for this, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, Scrap, if that were the case, and let's assume there is, because, like, has there been a raid without master loot in a long time? No, I don't think so. But if there was, it would just be up to the raid leader on how they want to handle that, you know?
I think it's interesting. I like the idea of it, especially for a 0.7 patch. Like, it seems to fit.
I'm curious though, this Rotmeyer Spore Heart they're showing, it has an effect on it that seems like it could be pretty good. It'd be interesting if something like this was like Abyss, but only if you could get the right stats on it.
That's the other side of it too, right? There are, for example, necks. I'm just using, I can't say it with certainty, but let's say that on my mage, I really want mastery and crit, right? I look in the Mythic Plus pool, because that's where I'm going to get my best eye level out of, and 5 out of the 6 necks all have versatility on it, which I don't want, right? It'd be so nice knowing that I could theoretically have a best in slot. Forget the effect, right? I could have a best in slot because of that massive 233 random stat.
Mhm.
And it also now brings me back to rating more than one clear through, because maybe I did win it on week 1, but it was not the best stats. Now I'm going to go and want to go back again and try to, it's kind of like Titan Forging, right? Like where you could,
I was saying, what it sounds like to me is kind of like doing splits. Is like, oh, I got this awesome necklace for, you know, an enhanced shaman. I guess I'll play that since I'm getting tons of gear for like enhanced shaman or something. Like letting the gear
Bad
tell you what
idea.
you're gonna play.
But what does that have to do with splits?
Only the wheel will tell me that.
No, because like it's with split, like gear splits is like you have like a bunch of characters that you're trying to gear, right?
Yeah.
And whoever gets the best gear is who you play. It's like, well, if I'm getting all this gear that has like, I don't know, fucking crit mastery on it or something, it's like, oh, I guess I should play this character next season.
That's why I wouldn't advocate for the woo part of it, at least existing for the first, like, you know, like let's say it wouldn't happen until the 0.7 patch.
Yeah, I think this would be fucking chaotic and crazy if people were like rolling for alts when other people's mains didn't have gear yet.
And like, let's not even say it's rolling for alts. I mean, imagine the random stats in week 1. Like everyone would be
yeah,
fucking
bro,
furious going
dude.
random,
Make it even harder to get the gear that you want and need. Like, fuck. This is great for a 0.7 patch.
Yeah.
And that's that.
And I'd like to see it expand to the other rates. But only in the 0.7 patch.
Only in the 0.7.
All right, what
let's not
else?
get silly with our mainline patches.
Yeah. We have in the data files, so in Legion Remix, we had a Heroic World tier. This never made it to retail, but in the files, there seems to be a suggestion that in these 2 portals that you take, you know, for the final showdown of whatever, that they'll have a heroic tier, and there's also a flag for mythic tier.
Cool.
So it would be nice, because, you know, when I'm doing the void assaults right now, or whatever they're called, I'm even doing them on an alt that has no gear, and they're still kind of really boring. But it would be nice if there was like a, oh, you know what, this actually is challenging, as Technique would always advocate for, right?
Me too.
Yes, you too.
I want more challenging single player content, like,
Yeah.
or I won't engage with
So
it.
this
Like,
is
full stop.
something. Would you do the showdowns? I think is what they're called.
If it's difficult, I mean, like, I was really excited about the super hard prey or whatever, what is it called? Nightmare one. Unfortunately, it hasn't like kept up with gearing. Like, there hasn't been
Well, you
one
haven't
that's
even
like.
done the Nemesis delve.
Well, yeah, I haven't done that.
Oh,
No.
you don't have question mark?
I love the question mark. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Wow.
I fell off of it. Everybody got it like the first week, and I was like, who cares? It's not a race anymore. So, yeah, I'm gonna. But I like
Mm,
that kind of stuff. I like
You
that kind of
lost the
stuff.
race.
So, yeah. So then I can do it whenever I feel like.
Mm.
It only gets easier as I gear it more. So, like, why would I do it?
Would you like to see though
early?
a mythic and heroic world tier of like all the because again this is isolated to only these showdowns, but
I
like
would love things that are pushing more to that level of difficulty of like a question mark, or even like the nightmare tier stuff is like it's not super hard, but every now and then you're caught with your pants down, and it makes it a little bit more fun and engaging. So yeah, anything like that I'm down with.
But
What if they made like horrific visions type
I
thing?
love horrific visions.
I know you
Love it.
do. And or like the remember Tazavesh, the not Tazavesh, the
Target.
Ma Torghast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. Like
Yeah.
I think there's some stuff they can do that can be really fun, like give you all these crazy boosts and powers and stuff. Make it
Yeah. I like
I
yeah,
that
don't know.
but
too.
those
Hmm?
things we had to do, right? Because we had to get the enchantment from the one and in Torghast. Did you need to do anything with that? You needed that for like
to
borrow
build your
power, right?
legendaries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so but if
horrific
it's just
visions, no.
I mean, you needed the helm enchant if you wanted it. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
Yeah,
didn't
but
it
you
was
had
take
to
much.
engage it in the
Yeah.
most minimal way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Like
walk in.
if it's just like, oh, these are showdowns, it's just world content. I mean, if you're not doing world quests already, there's going to be no reason for you to do these, even if they are harder in theory, right? So it depends on what you get for
What
doing
your
them that would
motivation
make
is. Yeah.
If it's
exactly.
enjoyable, like, I mean, I don't really use the pussy wagons. Like, it's I did it just because it's inherently
I
enjoyable.
can't
If there's
imagine who is
gameplay,
for the first time hearing the
oh,
word pussy
sorry.
wagon and they're going, "What the
The
fuck is she
Mounts
talking
you
about?"
get from question mark
the
question mark.
Are
question mark
considered
mounts
pussy
are
wagons.
pussy wagons, and I have
Sure.
coined that term. Like, so
And you're the only one that uses it.
for
But
that specific thing,
yeah,
yes. But
for
everybody
the
here
one
knows
mount.
what I'm talking about, right? But I'm just saying, if something is inherently enjoyable, like the horrific visions, like when we were doing that when it was, early in that, when it was more difficult, we were doing it for the enjoyment of the difficulty. Like, obviously we could have waited until the end of the season when we could outgear it and get all the rewards, right? But like, I
Yeah.
wanted to do it when it was hard, because that was more fun. But that's
I
just me.
mean, for me, like if they give me the ability to like boost my renown or whatever, because there's some things I just want to get done, and that's part of the things I just want to get done.
Yeah, but you do
Um,
world content, like you do
I
delve.
do delves. My Valyria is already maxed out, and I've already done my Delver's journey. But like, and I'm trying to work on the assaults and stuff, which I maxed it out, but I got to get all the things. But either way, like I'm just trying to get to the point where when it's time to get that meta mount, it's a little bit easier because
Yeah, I could give a
I've
fuck
done all
about
the
that.
things. I know you don't care. It's okay.
Unless it's a cool ass mount.
I hope it's really cool and you get super
Tyvon was
jealous.
one of
Well,
them. Straight.
Tyvon is like the coolest mount ever, and I didn't even give a fuck
And
enough to do that.
and
Like,
you don't have it, so
no, dude, all my renown, Dragonflight renown is like at 10. Like, I would
I
take so
know.
much
I
work to get
know.
it.
So
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that is 12.0.7 in a nutshell. There were some other things, but we're running out of time today to talk about them. I did want to cover a couple small things real quick. First things first, Deathwing onesie coming to the game. Can you imagine
Cute.
Lithium rating in that?
I will.
I
Oh,
know.
Do I
Frank,
have to buy it? How do I get
We
it?
don't know how we get it yet.
can we
Oh.
talk about the trading post this month a little bit, maybe? Like,
Yeah.
Can we
you have
save
that pulled
no?
up?
Can we save it for next week because I don't want to pull it up and.
Can I just give it a quick one? It's a banger.
Okay.
It's not
I
a
spent
banger.
I
What are
spent
you
all my
talking
That's what
fucking
we call.
tenders.
That's what we call a
No,
tease for next week's
No,
episode.
you spent
Well,
you
just
spent
go
it
and
all
look.
on 2 mounts that you didn't need. So
No, I like the Gilnea stuff. It's super sick.
All right.
It's
Well,
sweet.
we'll look at it next week.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I just quickly wanted to talk about because we participated in the MDI was snapping
Oh.
has been banned from the MDI.
Mm.
Knowing this now, I kind of wish they did it when we were in the time trials, because would we have performed better?
Probably
We
not.
would have been well. No, the times would have
Maybe a
been
little
different.
closer. Yeah, maybe a little closer in
Yeah,
time, but
because
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
But there still probably would have been some small optimizations we weren't doing.
Yeah, for sure. But a lot of the time skips, like a lot of the time saved, was from snapping.
Yeah, for sure. It
And
always is. That's like a
but
staple of MDI.
it was like an AUG doing weird stuff to snap mobs over or whatever. So
Yeah,
I don't
the,
know.
Yeah,
the
I
most
think it's
famous
pretty
count was the
clear.
birds in Algathar.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's
I
pretty
don't even
clear
know how
it's
they did
not
that.
working as intended. Like they didn't
It
intend for that to be part of
it's
pushing the dungeon.
tough because at what point is, because the whole point is you're doing a set key level and you're trying to do it as quickly as possible. I mean, if it was the matter of just completing the dungeon and doing it the right way, why wouldn't they have kept the old format? I mean, this is the kind of format where you want people to like do the
Well,
glitches and break the game. It's speed running.
sure,
Yeah.
from the viewer's perspective, I understand why it'd be like, oh, this is disappointing. But I think the
But
reason
when
why
I
they
yeah.
ultimately do it is because they know it makes its way into the game where the average person's expected to do this shit, and that's why they don't want it.
I mean I'm a big speedrunning fan, and it's like I like I understand there's like a community that likes glitchless and stuff like that, but I think it's like you're gonna do it the fastest you do exploits,
Sure,
and it's exciting because
but
they're
imagine,
often really
Scrap,
hard
that
to
you
pull
were going
off.
to go play Mario, or what was the one
Mhm.
that we talked about like extensively that you showed us the video?
Choco
Mario Kart?
Mountain.
Choco Mountain.
Yeah,
So
Mario
imagine you're
Kart.
playing Mario Kart, right? And the
Yeah.
expectation is that if you play with
The weather
anyone,
tanko?
yeah, if you play with anyone, that's how you
Yeah.
have to play, right?
Yeah,
And it's
I
just
get
like,
it, but it's
I don't want to be in a
also
10
gonna
and have them saying, why aren't you snapping, right? Like, go
But I
fuck yourself.
also bet that it's funny that in the MDI they're not allowed to use the snapping stuff, but in live people are gonna be using it like to push the
Oh, that's true.
highest
That's true.
keys.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
true.
is a bit
That's true.
weird that like there's gonna be keys that are faster in live than in the
Low
fucking
key,
competition for fast keys.
low key, I feel like reading this, I get the vibe that um Blizzard tried to fix it. They couldn't. They don't want it in there. So I feel like this is a Blizzard
Yeah.
call that they just said, "Fuck it. You can't do it. We're not gonna be able to fix it, but you can't do it."
It's a little bit
Well,
of
and they're
a
also more
shame.
consistent on it, right? Because like when we had Plaguefall as one of the dungeons way back when, and they had that snapping tech that they were using to effectively like mega buff themselves with, it doesn't matter. Point is
Yeah.
that Blizzard like very clearly said you're not allowed to do that. And now
Mhm.
there's like these inconsistencies where they're saying, well, I guess this one's okay. They probably just said like enough's enough. We need to just kind of put an end to it. But
Yeah.
I do think, Scrap, yes, they might be doing it in the high 21 keys, right? But to go and find those VODs would be a little more like taxing for the average viewer. Whereas if they're putting up on Twitch, like this is the WoW account, people are more likely to watch it. And then they see this tech, it's like, okay, maybe it becomes more widespread problem, you know?
I don't know. I also am starting to wonder, like, is this gonna be like kind of gray? Is snapping gonna end up some kind of gray area? Like, obviously the egregious snapping cases that we're all thinking about, like the birds in Algathar and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, that's clear, like not intended snapping. But it's like, if one mob kind of glitches through, or like I know it's not snapping, but like what we just did in Magister's Terrace where we
That's
pulled the
snapping.
guys through the
That's
wall.
snapping.
Oh, that is snapping?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Bad.
So
like I'm
here's
wondering if there's gonna be
Uh-oh.
fringe case snapping where it's like, well, this is, pulling that mob a little, I don't know. It just seems like there could be gray contentious area with
So
this.
I think that if it's snapping in the sense that it's just a mob trying to correct it, it lost its path, that's fine. But I think if it's because you can't access that platform until you kill that guy on the
Yeah.
thing. So you have to specifically set up
Yeah.
yourself up with like a toy to get to the other side. And
then a rescue.
so yeah, exactly. So I think
Available in live, like
if you're doing something that is very, very clearly out of the realm of normal, I think they'd probably be that's where it's illegal. But if it's
I don't know.
just if it's just you're doing a normal route and you're running and the one mob gets like stuck and that it snaps you, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Well,
I don't know about you
intention
guys,
is a lot
but
about it.
that's the stuff I like to hear about at MDI. It's like, oh, did you hear about how they had this weird tech where they used a toy and they did this stuff?
Well, we
that's like
we did it in
hidden
Windrunner,
tech.
remember? We had those two mobs that I was under on count, and everyone ran upstairs when I went and grabbed them, even though I said wait. And then someone just said, well, we'll just go
Nobody
up.
listened.
They'll snap up there. And I was like, oh. And we were in the middle of like they didn't snap for like the first 50% of the boss health, but then
And
they
then they
snapped in out of
disappeared.
nowhere. It's like, oh cool, all right, just kill them off real quick.
Long
Well,
walk up
I think
there.
when the people in the MDI, especially, they like hide this tech because they want to bust it out during the actual competition to like get an edge on them. Like I just think it's more fun to kind of like, oh, how are they gonna push this? But I'm also a fan of like, you know, the fully broken ass speed runs, and I get that there's a
Yeah.
community of people who like glitchless, like
But
vanilla speed runs. You
if
know,
they're gonna do something different, don't they have to like disclose that to Blizzard
Yes,
or
so
whatever?
it doesn't say about the snapping
good.
that they're saying full stop snapping is broken, but they do call out, you know, anything that's not available through vendors or anything that's not available. Like if you're mind controlling a mob, you need to get it approved prior to the thing. My only problem with this is that like Blizzard isn't
Mhm.
consistent. Like, okay, look at the Race the World first. They'll tell like all the Race the World first guilds will tell them like this is our plan, this is our plan, this is our plan. And then Blizzard will not say anything until the day of Race the World first. And then they'll say,
Yeah.
hey, that add-on you built, no, we're bricking it. It's like,
Kibosh.
where
But then
were
this
you
one
2
that
weeks
is
ago when we
also
told you this, you know?
yeah.
And
But
it's
then the ones
inconsistent.
that they have live is then like very clearly
Yeah,
not
that's a very
what's
good point, Script.
intended to
That
be
like
allowed.
that, like,
Yeah.
well, why is it allowed to be enough for to get the 0.1% title?
Yeah.
But and maybe it's because there's money attached, and they're like, look, we just need to be very clear and consistent. Okay, fine, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me tell you, the add-on we use for Laura is amazing. It's called
Frank marking the ground.
It's-
Dude, we
Works
wouldn't be
works
able to
pretty
do
well.
it. We wouldn't be able to do it without it, man. Like, there's
Yeah,
no
we can't-
fucking way. We can barely do
can't-
it with it. Like, so ain't no fucking way.
Oh,
God.
sorry.
You're
Sorry.
exhausting.
My bad.
All right.
It's true.
Lithian's corner.
Oh, my corner. You
What do
know
you not
what?
care about?
Tell us
You
why
know
you think
what? No,
Zorthus is
no.
a utter moron.
Oh, that guy's dumb. I hate that guy.
I tried.
I'm
I
not- I'm-
tried to find
fired.
evidence to why
There's
you
no-
feel that way, right? I looked
No,
at
there's
even
no evidence.
everyone, not everyone. I looked at most of the comments in his videos to see, like, okay, where are the people coming out to
Oh, they
hate?
love him. They love him in those
There's no
videos.
one in there that's saying he's a moron or hates him. Why are you
No, no, no,
saying?
no.
I don't understand it.
That's I'm not gonna say
Here we go.
that
You already have. So
I don't. No, I don't care for a lot of these content creators and streamers because it's. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. Maybe it's the way they deliver the message, or how they do it, or what they do.
I
but
completely
it's just
understand
terrible.
that point, except for Zorthus is like the most clear cut, straight to the point, give you the data. Here's
Bro,
what's
you
going to
know
happen.
what bothers me about him? He's got a tomato head. That's what
Oh
bothers
my
me.
God.
Can I
It is
pull up
the
a picture
tomato
of
head.
him so I can see if his head's
just-
tomato?
Just imagine a
Oh, it is a
tomato with a
tomato.
squiggly
100%.
He's a
smile
VTuber.
and
He's a
an- yeah.
VTuber.
Oh, he's a VTuber.
yes,
And he's a
it's a
tomato.
tomato.
Here,
Yeah, that
here.
annoys me also. That's super annoying.
It's so annoying.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
why would you pick a tomato?
I definitely prefer
see.
like the dorky
What the fuck,
growl
dude?
thing.
That pisses me off. That's like some dream shit. Like,
Look at the shorts, dude.
So yeah,
Anyway.
look,
How-
he did
how
this
does it
video.
move?
I
Can
know
I
you
see how
can't
it
see it in the pod,
moves?
but
Look.
like this video right here where he tells like everything that's coming in this patch
Yeah.
would take
Yeah.
Dratnos 30 minutes to do, and he does it in 4.
Well,
I
I-
like that. He's for the people like who
I
don't
don't
have time.
know,
But let
like-
me see how the tomato moves, and I'll let you know if it's good
It-
or not.
it's terrible.
He doesn't do
Like-
the tomato in the video often.
Okay, it's
he-
kind of charming. I like it.
he-
I'm
he
back in.
does-
Like,
yeah,
I'm back in. It looks like he made it himself.
he
Aw.
did. He did make it
Is
himself.
he young? He looks like he's
I don't-
like a skinny.
What if he's like an 8-year-old?
18-year-old? Yeah, no,
Like
he looks like he might be a teenager, and you're making
Anyways,
fun of him.
Lithian, what do
Anyway.
you care about this week?
What do I care about? You know what? I think I listened to Fear and a couple other people trying to push hierarchies in pugs, and I think that the mental in the hierarchies is really bad when you
For
hit a
who?
certain point for anyone doing those, right?
The general
And-
populace.
yeah, the well, if you don't have a team and you're pugging, right? You know,
Right.
people are going to make mistakes, and one mistake will kill a key at a certain level, right?
I mean, Scrap, remember when I
think,
told that shaman in Magistrate Terrace?
I
Yeah,
still think about it every day.
I think
Oh, Christ.
I think it's hard. Well, you shouldn't be learning in a hierarchy. You
No,
should know what
definitely.
to do, right?
That's what Frank
different.
told him.
Yeah, that's a
Basically.
different
No, I had a
problem.
13 that a Blood Death Knight Oh, okay. Can we quick aside? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Lithia.
go
Quick
ahead.
aside.
You know the Limdori, like they'll highlight all the mobs, how you can do it in any key
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
Limdori.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
like I said this when we were talking about how is it going to be a highlighter for noobs? Oh my god, it's way worse than I thought. I had a Blood DK who went into Nexus and it was on, and I immediately go like, oh shit, what's going on? And
Yeah.
he did not do shit at all. He was not getting any aggro. Like, I mean, again, I was on my mage. I gave him all the time in the world. I was like, I'm not gonna, fuck around. And within a second of me starting
heck.
DPS, I already had threat on like 4 mobs, right?
Yeah.
And he
It's the
pulled.
one button for routing.
It's oh my god, it's
Yeah,
I wanted to
kinda
help.
stuff.
I get it, but every time I've seen it, I
Yeah.
go, oh shit, this is a shit show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that kind of stuff aside, like if you're actually doing your work, like in some pools, if I miss a global while I'm tanking, I die in higher keys, and that kind of sucks. I mean, tanking's hard. Hearing people say, "Oh, I don't know why, I don't know why it's so difficult. You could just do it like this," or even the Algathar pool where people are saying, "Oh, all you got to do is run away." Right. And it's
You
like,
get
Yeah.
it's some of that stuff is really hard. It's not always as easy as it sounds. And watching a streamer do it to perfection is
Mhm.
not the everyday person. Like, I am not that person. And
Yeah.
my point is, I think the mental just should be checked as you get to higher keys, and it should be okay. I mean, you're gonna have
In other
resilient
news,
keys
water's
anyway.
wet.
Well,
I
I'll
know
say
it's
just like
it's
an
tough.
example of like what we did, like on Friday we were like doing a push night and then we broke like 3 keys in a row and Lithium
Yeah,
was like,
and
you know what, tonight's a wash. And it's okay
it
to
is.
have
Yeah,
It is
nights that
okay,
are a
so yeah,
wash
yeah,
because
yeah.
there's so many weeks left of the season that we can have a night where we didn't get the keys we wanted and we're like, you know what, we timed 15s, so next week we'll all have 15s again. Like
Yeah.
we bricked all our keys down to our resilient 14s or whatever. Let's not push these up. Let's just wait till next week and pick it back up. Like that should be the mental people have right now. Chill. It's cool. You got plenty of
just
time.
chill. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. And I got some good hard-earned practice in Algathar that I needed, so
Oh my
I
god, we did
appreciated
like
that.
4 back to back that we like
Yeah,
bricked in a row.
it
And we
was
still didn't time the 15. So
well, I think that was because of the one skip that we didn't
yeah.
have.
But I'm just saying we're still we did like 6 attempts of Algathar at like a 14 and 15 level and we still didn't like we timed a
I
14
mean,
again.
to
but
time all the 16s and get resilient 16, you're gonna have to be ready to
listen,
prog a little bit.
they're gonna keep adding minutes to Algathar every week, so we'll be fine. By the end of the
Okay.
season, it's gonna be a 40-minute dungeon. Like,
All right.
Anyway, that's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Let's get into the community comments. So we'll start with I guess this one's kind of geared towards you, Ayaski. All right, since we
Oh.
got a WrestleMania, sorry, this is from Algron. We got a WrestleMania mention. As a European, got to ask you about Eurovision. Have you ever heard of it, and would you ever tune in? So, do you guys know what Eurovision is?
No idea what that is. No,
It's
and I
like
googled it, and
a
I was
talent
lost in like the
show.
first 5 seconds. Oh, is it?
Every
It's what?
country
Isn't it?
sends a act, right, in Europe.
Yeah.
So I've never watched it. I've heard a lot about it. I hear that there's always a couple of acts that are outlandishly bad. And then of course, like, I think there's like a favoritism towards Hungary or something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, like it's outlandish. It's wild. It's not like they're sending their best pop stars or whatever. They just like put together something that they feel like represents their country, but also is insane. What? I think this year there was some woman who just like swore on stage and she almost won or maybe did win. I want to pull it
I
up
don't
real
know.
quick while we're doing it.
But I do know
She
it's
did
like the
what?
Super Bowl for Europeans. Like everybody watches it in all the countries. Like,
Yeah,
What? I've never heard of this.
that well, and like England never
Oh.
wins. They like always.
the only reason I know about this is because I had to finish. Oh my god, pen pal
Sorry-
for a
sorry-
while
sorry about
when
the
I
thing.
was just out of college, and so like I talked to her about it. Like
I should
she
ask
told me
my
about it.
kids. I should
Yeah,
ask my
it's like a
kids.
big
Oh
deal
yeah,
in
I'm sure
Europe,
they're into
and
it. Oh, like yeah.
all right, I'm not gonna worry about it. But
Okay, I'm
anyways,
getting blasted.
yeah,
with
sorry.
light here. Okay.
But yeah, like
I want people
I
to see
hear a
my
lot about
pores.
Eurovision. Most Americans probably don't have a fucking clue what it's about, but it
Nope.
does sound like it's the equivalent of like if we sent one person from one act from every state, and then American Idol
What act?
to
What act would we send?
Kid Rock, baby.
Where's Kid Rock from?
Tennis. No, Detroit.
He's from the
Detroit, isn't he?
outskirts of Detroit Rock
Yeah,
City.
yeah.
Duh. Like the
All right.
song says.
They have way
Anyways,
better people than Kid
I don't
Rock
want
to
to.
send then.
I don't want to
you know?
give Kid Rock any time more
Who,
than he
Eminem?
deserves. All right,
Eminem's
from
great.
Triforce 100, Lithian brother, you're comparing a modern, and you've already responded to this, but I'm going to give you a chance to talk about it on the show.
Oh,
You're comparing a modern mega corporation to a random low budget game you played more than 10 years ago, some probably 20 years ago. OSRS, old school RuneScape, never had a patch this bad. There's a reason it's the second biggest MMO right now. It's not, it may not even be, may not ever have WoW's broad appeal, but it's not trying to be a game for casual season battle pass Andes. So what do you want to say to that, Lithian?
well, number one, I think Final Fantasy has more subs.
I
old
thought
school RuneScape.
WoW Classic would have been the number 2 biggest MMO right now.
So
I think they combine all the WoWs. I don't know. What do you
That'd be
guys think?
smart.
weird comment because is OSRS have the same patch cadence? Like I don't even know if you can even compare them.
Well,
No,
OSR,
I think
OSRS is no patches now, right? I mean,
Yeah, I think it's completely different. But I was talking about like EverQuest back in the day and Star Wars, the Old Republic, and things like that. And I don't consider the ones like Dark Age of Camelot even. I don't consider them low budget or
no,
small.
but,
They are
but even
old.
then, they had patches that were like bricking the servers for
Yeah,
days.
they did, and that's what I was saying is it's pretty comparable in some cases, like in EverQuest, especially when Sony and they switched from the original company to Sony. Like there were some bad times, and yeah, it's not gonna be old school RuneScape.
Well,
There's nothing that's gonna be like that.
There were a ton of comments in here about how like they need to be able to release a patch bug free. And we said we touched on this, but like they even had the developers talk to Talius and Evatail in an interview this week, and they acknowledged like we have a certain threshold of where we can say these amount of bugs are acceptable, and they clearly didn't hit that this time around. And they again, we talked about this on the episode. We said like there are some things that got through that were never going to be found on the PTR, and that just happened, and it's just really shitty.
But there was so much things that got through that
Now,
showed a systematic failing of it.
The comment about was it seasonal battle pass Andes?
Yeah.
I think if that's the way people like to play,
Again,
I'm
that's
all
the
for
way the world works now, right?
Yeah, I mean they got to make
Live
their
service
money.
games have their battle passes. They have their seasons.
Can I just say that I forgot that last week we were talking about the broken patch. That has I've already been like, oh, they fixed all that stuff. It's already completely out of my mind, and I've forgotten it completely and forgiven it completely. Like maybe that is just the Stockholm syndrome kicking in, but like, did this have a lasting impact on my enjoyment of the game? No, not at all. Not in the slightest. I already forgot about it. So
And
like,
yet-
it's fine.
You're holding a grudge about the roadmap yet.
That
Yeah.
still is
Don't-
affecting my enjoyment
Because she
of the
was
game.
promised it in an interview
I-
she
that-
didn't even
Promised.
attend.
I'm gonna if they put out another fucking thing for $75 and no roadmap, we're gonna have this exact. We could just replay this episode, honestly, and that's all you need. Like,
Also, well, shit, I was gonna say something, I forgot it. Anyways, we'll worry about it later. All right, from James Bogold, which I think is known to some here in this pod. I think
know that
Lithian and
person.
Io should move in together and be platonic roommates.
I just showed air quotes.
yeah, I love it. I
So
love this
what
guy's
would- what would-
mind.
what would the sitcom name be for your new show?
I don't know. I don't know that there would be
Choose a
one.
crowd.
Like
Probably just Lithian.io or something. I don't know.
How about unheated rivalry?
Oh,
what rivalry?
The
Cool
nicest guys on
rivalry.
Discord.
I am very interested in trying to record as much of our BlizzCon trip to see how you two interact with each other, because Lithian
Yeah.
doesn't want to
We're-
even be in the house with us, let alone.
Yeah.
We're all very cordial in person. We're all very nice to
course.
each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, Lithian and I are great
But once I
ambassadors.
hide behind a screen, I'm
We
gonna
are
be
great
fucking
ambassadors.
racist.
Yeah. We were able to
No,
have
I'm-
a successful Pi embassy meeting. Or yeah, that
Not at
Gen Con.
BlizzCon.
No, at Gen Con but I'm
Gen
just
Con
saying
we
that we
do
can
every
handle
year.
any kind of relations.
Yeah,
Or
it's
Scrap.
fine.
If I were at Gen Con, do you think you could handle those relations?
No,
Between
you
you
would
and
not
Pi?
be invited. You
No,
would
no,
not be
yeah,
invited to that.
absolutely. Yeah, you would be invited.
Lithian
You would
seems
be
to
invited
disagree
that.
with you.
No.
All
Yeah,
right.
it might be tense, but we would come to some kind of like a
Tense.
no man's land like
Tense?
kind of
I don't know
across
if
the
tense is the
table.
right word.
So
I would have fun.
last comment from MDS Rock 3. Good episode. As BlizzCon approaches, the hype for Classic Plus is getting larger. If Blizzard drops a Classic Plus, will you guys play it and do content for it? The dungeon
What is
list is
that?
pretty. Oh, our tier list. Okay. So Io, this is the reason why I want to
I
bring this
saw
up.
Io's prediction.
Yeah, Frank will say he will. He might start a character, but last a day. I want to remind you that I did hardcore multiple times and was the leader in the hardcore multiple times until I got fucking shafted. And then Scrap, meanwhile, is why am I the one that's saying you're gonna say give me a day?
Hold on a second. The only time I wasn't with you guys in your original hardcore,
first
but the one we did that Scrap got to 60 on, you were out pretty quick. You started
Yeah, because
I
I got online to play with everyone and no one was fucking online. She did the 60 like 2 weeks after I played.
Yeah. But Frank also, he went the furthest than the other Classic Plus. What was that called? Season of Discovery. He actually hit max level. I kind of like tapped out on that after I
max level
discovered
at the
everything.
time it was like level 45.
Yeah, 25.
Listen,
yeah.
they're just predictions. If you guys want to go and prove them wrong, go do you.
Well, I'll prove it wrong because
you know,
I love
I'm
Classic.
so stubborn that even if it is not true, I'm gonna go fucking prove you wrong just because you dare say something like that.
For Classic,
I know one person who's not going to prove me wrong, and that's Lithian.
Yeah, Lithian will not prove you wrong.
Or
But
Scrap.
for me, for Classic, I guarantee you, do all of the questing through the Barrens and Wailing Caverns. After that, I don't guarantee anything. That's just my favorite.
What if you get to Ngoro Crater?
Well, there's a lot of in-between shit that's not that fun that I have to do to get to Ungoro Crater. But I love Ungoro Crater
I'm
too.
very interested to see what Classic Plus is going to be, but I really feel like it's going to have to be something insanely good to get me.
It's gotta be better than Season of Discovery. It's gotta be more somehow.
Yeah, I'm skeptical on how good it can really be because in my mind, it's like how much can they really change, and if it's going to be horizontal progression, how exactly does that look like? I just don't know if it's I feel like they're going to have a lot better success doing more shorter term, either seasonal or just kind of relaunching the classic TBC Wrath every couple of years, because it seems like right now there's a lot of people, now that TBC's kind of hit its lull, that are going back to even play some Season of Discovery on fresh characters, or to go do, there's this new hardcore race locked that's a lot of people have been doing, where they're like, you can only go into dungeons with your race. So you can see like Zaryu do like level 40 dungeons with like 3 warlocks and like a and 2 rogues, because like there's no gnome healers. So they got to try to so it seems like people in Classic, they kind of do what the new thing is, and then
they love Classic, dude.
Once they hit it, they're like, okay, what's the new kind of fresh thing we can do? So I don't know if everyone says they want it, if it's designed well and it seems like it has a good vision, I'll definitely give it a shot. And who knows, like maybe it could be like the new number 2, number 3 MMO, like OSRS or whatever. But I just don't. It's tough to see what it is without knowing what they're going to come out with.
It's very hard because like the people who play Classic, they love Classic for all of its like awkwardness and slowness and streamlinedness. Like if they wanted the most streamlined experience, they'd be playing and enjoying retail, right? Like so it's hard to say like we want to keep the Classic identity, but like give you everything, and then the people like me who are like, well, that takes it away from what I want.
I wonder how much of it though was
hard.
the Season of Discovery having all those class changes, right? Like if they just had it where they had a whole bunch of more like area, like new
secrets
zones, new dungeons
and
stuff.
I would have preferred that, but I don't think they know how to design. I feel like Classic WoW was lightning in a bottle. Like for all its awkwardness and weirdness,
dungeon looked really good.
I can't speak to it. I don't know. Like
if they do some slight tweaks where those classes play the same but some are more viable, and they do more new dungeons and new raids, I think that's going to be where they can really capture an audience. But I think if they try to overhaul everything, like Scrap said, you're going to lose the people that enjoy Classic for what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that the biggest layup they can do with another Classic, I want hardcore TBC. And I've already told them how they can implement it.
Did they go
they said they can do hardcore TBC. They don't think it's It's doable.
Yeah.
No,
it
I'm
just,
telling you how it's doable for the devs right here is that when you get to 60 on a
There we go.
hardcore character, you can, if when you die, you get set back to 60, right? Like so that you can remake a new 60 character or something so that you don't have to start all the way at 0 again. And maybe you only get like 3 charges of it or 4 charges of it or something like that, or you have to earn charges like to get it again. But that way you don't have to start all the way at the beginning. And then that opens up possibility for Wrath, hardcore,
PBC
had
is
a
not.
hardcore.
It does not play as nice as classic does for hardcore, I think.
Yeah.
Especially even
That's
just seeing in some of
that's
the
yeah.
dungeons, like right now in heroic dungeons, if you try to do heroic shattered halls and you don't have a prop paladin, a mage,
fucked.
and a warlock, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because
But I think it's
the prop
another
warriors can't keep threat.
difficulty
Like
of it.
the druids can't pull as big or as good. Like it's just there's so much to it that
Heroic
just
BC dungeons were like Mythic plus dungeons to a degree.
Yeah, but I think that just gives it's more exciting. There's so much more risk and like that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. All right, we are way over on time.
Fuck, how is that possible?
Well, I was gonna say, do you want to talk about any of the other non-WoW stuff? Like, I did get to see
Like
Devil Wears
what?
Prada, but I don't have time to talk about it.
Well,
So
no
I'll save-
spoilers anyway, so
I'll save it for next week. All right.
I will
Okay.
say, I saw the teaser trailer for Zach Kreger's Resident Evil that he's doing. The guy who did Weapons and Barbarian, and
Ooh.
it was weird when I heard he was doing Resident Evil because in my mind I'm like, this is a really weird thing for him to sign on for. But actually, the teaser trailer, it's just a teaser trailer, but it looks
I want to see
interesting.
that.
But hearing his seeing an interview with how he talked about how he directed the movie, how he kind of took inspiration from the games, like how you upgrade from like your pistol to having a shotgun, how scarce ammo is, it actually made me kind of excited for it in a way I wouldn't have normally been excited for a game like it. So if anyone's interested in Resident Evil or
the studio
like Zach
said to
Kreger,
him, he's got a like carte blanche, like do whatever you want. We trust you.
Oh my god. I'm actually
And-
hyped
Yeah.
for that because like the Resident Evils that I grew up with and fell in love with, like 4 and 5, which I know that aren't like the OG ones,
this is
are like
happening
so
like
campy.
It's Resident Evil 2's and like world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not super familiar with
and
it.
he's just
the
like
vibe.
Yeah, go on.
The vibe I get is that it's happening at the same time as Resident Evil 2, and it in theory is a canon in that world, but it's not going to necessarily touch
different
those
events.
events. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's-
said
that's
he wanted
actually-
to have an everyday schmuck that was like how they handle it because he didn't want any like hero. He just wanted to have like what he would have gone through if he were to actually live in this.
I'm literally so hyped for this. I absolutely trust him.
And again,
I hope
the
he can
direction
bring in
looks
the
amazing. Like,
campiness.
it looks really well done.
I'm so in.
Well, I guess I'll just tell you guys, Devil Wears Prada was pretty good. It wasn't that great.
It was pretty good. Yeah,
well,
I feel like
it's astonishing. One, they like move through the plot at a breakneck pace just to kind of like cover exposition. But two, again, the first movie is obviously very heavily bent on the idea that she wants to win Miranda, played by Meryl Streep's approval. But you would think after 15 years of her being like a super well recognized journalist, and then
she's still stuck there.
Well, no, and then she like goes and works for Miranda again, and like she's just like a crying mess all the time looking for approval.
It's just, is it like the same character arc? Like
it's like no, it's like a character arc where you see her and like at the media, like she's like very good at what she does. She's an amazing writer. And then like she slowly devolves into being an 18-year-old version of herself where she's just crying left and right and making terrible decisions,
but not realistically.
Like Miranda would say, like, "Don't do anything. I've got this," and she just was like, and spazzes out into.
Unfortunately, Hollywood writing is kind of lowest common denominator. They're just like not. They don't care about that.
My wife thought it was really stupid, and I was like, you know what though? It's kind of one of those things like it's a comfort food. I don't.
Yeah,
care.
you know what you're going in for. You're not
wanted
getting
to
high
just
art.
see Meryl Streep do Meryl Streep things, and it was just like, all right, yeah, I got what I wanted, and so yeah, it's not bad. But let your standards down. Okay, well, we're at 2:20 something, so let's just call it there. If you're watching this episode late Monday afternoons because I had to go to bed and I couldn't edit it, but I'm gonna try to get it out.
Yeah.
I just got up at 5 a.m. to play golf this morning, so I'm fucking exhausted. But otherwise, we will continue to keep our eyes on Mythic Plus and seeing how those numbers are panning out. We didn't get to talk about loot today, but we will try to talk about it next week, and maybe there'll be a roadmap slipping in there somewhere, right, Scrap?
I'm not optimistic.
Maybe we'll get Lura down this week, right? We got
Maybe,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we're
We're
getting
gonna
close.
we're gonna do prog starting right on Tuesday instead of reclear, right? So we'll have tons of time
We'll
to
have
work on
a
it.
little reclear, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's us for episode 83. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week. Until then, keep timing your keys. Take care.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Got him.
I think he writes down things to say at the end of the episode to make
To
sure
throw
he gets
you
that
off.
last, yeah, just to make my fucking eyes roll out of my sockets.
Yeah.